We start the show in an important way.
How cool is this?
Because we are joined right now by the Hall of Famer, longtime voice of the Los Angeles Kings, the great, emphasis on great, Bob Miller. Bob, great to see you, man.
Great to see you guys and be on with you today. And I'm excited about the Kings coming back to ESPN LA and being on radio for at least 25 regular season games.
Yes.
And I think that's a great move by the Kings.
Can't wait.
And a partnership on the ESPN app and everything else. So it's a kind of a rebirth of the Kings, even though the logo goes back to when Wayne Gretzky played here in 1990s and has the crown from 1967. So the Kings have incorporated some of the original part of the team and then the 90s and now up into the future and beyond.
Yeah.
Bob, I was trying to figure, what was your first year doing Kings games?
1973.
Wow.
I'm guessing that back then you did more games on radio than you did on TV, no?
Yeah, we did. At that time, we could only do, I think we did 15 games on TV, and so did the Lakers. So Chick Hearn and I would meet with Bob Speck, who was the
legendary
program director at KTLA, and we'd go over, and Chick would say, "Okay, you're playing in Montreal. You got to have that game, Bob. The Lakers are in Chicago. We got to have that game." So we'd split the games up. Unfortunately, we always played the tough teams.
Right.
So our record on TV was not that great, but I was just thrilled to get that opportunity to come out here and be part of the Kings telecasts and broadcasts. We did a simulcast. My first 17 years, we did simulcast and flew commercially. And I said, if we'd have been flying commercially lately, I'd have been retired long ago.
Yeah,
Sure.
right.
It's an absolute game changer.
I was going to say, we were talking yesterday, and this is a great question for you. We were talking about art, and John said, I can't do any art. I'm not good at art. And I told him, no, play-by-play is an art, and you are a master in that area. What do you think what's the most important thing when you were doing game? What was the most important thing? What's the art to you?
I think the most important word that any broadcaster or anybody in any walk of life in any job is preparation.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared to do your job when you get there, you're going to lose that job. And people would say to me, 7:30 game, what time do you get there? 7:15? I said, no, not really. Like 3:15.
Yeah.
And we've talked the night before and the morning of. And you guys know preparation is the whole point of it, especially in a game where you can't look down to see who's got the puck. By the time you do that, it's changed hands about 3 times.
Right.
And you'd be lost. So preparation, and then you just have a knack of, and not everybody has this knack, to describe what you're seeing in person.
In real time.
Yeah. It's amazing. People can't describe what they're seeing in person.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big part of it because it's not scripted. You've got notes, but it's ad-lib play-by-play once they drop that puck.
Yeah.
Bob Miller is our guest, and for my money, the greatest hockey announcer of all time. And I was very spoiled growing up here because I had you and I had Chick, and Dick Enberg was doing the Angels, and Vin, of course, was doing the Dodgers. And the one thing, Bob, I've never heard anybody be better at than you. I can do it. Chick could do it, but none of us could do it as good as you. I'll even try and imitate it, and I'll screw it up.
Okay.
But you had an incredible ability to talk very, very fast and describe everything that was going on, but everybody could understand exactly what you were saying no matter how fast you talked.
You did a good job at that.
That was fast.
But
That was good.
I did it for 15 seconds. You did it for 3 hours. When did you know you could do that? Did you have to develop that skill? Did you just always have it? How did that come about?
Well, I listened to a lot of broadcasts growing up in Chicago. The Blackhawks with Lloyd Pettit, great hockey announcer, and thank you for the comments. But there are a lot of excellent hockey announcers out there. And I've told, and I got tapes from young people who said, would you listen to my tape and critique it and tell me what I'm doing right or wrong? And I would tell them, you've got to do the game at a pace where you keep up with the action on the ice.
And in hockey, the puck moves faster than in any other sport.
Yep.
Right.
It moves faster than any other ball or anything.
But at a pace where the listener, especially on radio, can understand and picture the game in his head. If he can't get a picture of what you're saying, it defeats the purpose. So you can talk fast, but not too fast.
Right.
I mean,
That's the trick.
Yeah.
I would get tapes where I would have to rewind the tape to say, what did he just say?
Right. So talking fast, but you got to be able to understand what's going on. You got to be able to visualize and picture
By the way,
it.
Bob, you'll be happy to know that Mason and I get those tapes now. Like kids will send us, hey, will you listen to my tape? And you know what we tell them? Pick another job. You don't want to do this. We're all worried they're coming for us.
I got a few of those too.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't pay attention to them.
Bob, what's it like at the Miller home when the Kings are on? Are you do you get wrapped up in every game? Do you miss actually being there and doing the games? What's it like?
I miss doing the play-by-play, and because certain games, when I was doing it, the game would be so exciting. I would just say to myself, where would I rather be than right here? This is so exciting.
Yeah.
And for any announcer in any sport, bring that excitement home to the listener. Make the listener feel as if he's right there, and he can on radio see it, on TV he can appreciate what's going on, and you give him that excitement and enthusiasm in your broadcast.
Yeah.
I can't believe you answered it that way, because what I always say when I get asked that question is the great announcers, the Chick Hearns, the Bob Millers of the world, make you believe that there is no place they would rather be than where they are. And it's because in your case and in Chick's case, it was often true.
Yeah.
And it's I miss hearing you do the games, but I'm so glad that you and Judy are getting to kind of live out the retirement life. And Jimmy Fox was on yesterday, and I don't know if you agree with me, but I think Jim has turned into an elite color guy in hockey. When he started with you, I think he would say this. He went 4 or 5 years not knowing when he could jump in, not knowing when he could talk. And now, Bob, I think I learned something every time I listened to Jim do a game. Did you sense that he was developing into that guy?
Yeah, I agree with you. I learned something every night from Jim, because he was on the ice as a player for 10 years, and they see things that I'll never see doing the game.
Right.
Because he sees things. And I couldn't believe he'd recap it, and I'd think, I didn't see that hit the back of his skate, but he did. And when he started out, and he admitted this, he said, I had no idea for 4 years what I was doing. And
not that he was bad. He wasn't, but he was trying to find his way.
Yeah.
And when he found it, it was like a faucet got turned on.
Right.
And then so then you had Bob with these historic calls and that unbelievable voice, and you had Jim teaching you the game. And Mason and I actually knew Dan Avey, the late great Dan Avey.
That's right. Yeah.
Who used to work in another building. And when you and Dan did the games, it was more like of a formal presentation, and Dan lent itself to that Hollywood, kind of, he would tell you who's in the stands and what it was like.
Right.
But when Jim came along, it was like, okay, we're going to get a master class in hockey.
Yes.
And so Bob would tell you exactly what was going on in the game, and Jim would say, did you see that guy was tired and he got beat on that puck? He goes, that's because they left him on the ice too long. And I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
That guy's been on the ice, Bob, for over 3 minutes. And in
Yep.
hockey, that's too long. And I go, 3 minutes? That doesn't sound like a long time. But in hockey, it is. I learned that from Jim.
Yeah.
Right.
That you got to get those guys in and out of the ice, or else they're not going to have fresh legs.
right now it's about 45 seconds.
Is
and
that
change.
right? 45 seconds.
45 seconds of going up and down 200 feet of the ice with somebody knocking you down or,
Yeah.
or
It's
hanging
like
on
me.
your
So
back.
have you ever boxed, like sparred, even
Well,
goofing
you saw
around?
me box.
Yeah, oh, that's right. It's
my
it's
butt kicked.
impossible to describe to somebody how tired you are after one round
Yes.
of boxing, and that's what Jim says about hockey.
Yep.
All right, so 2 things before we let you go. Yesterday we made fun of Jim because he said, we had Luc Robitaille on our show, and Jim said, Anze Kopitar has passed Luc Robitaille as the all-time greatest Los Angeles King. And I pointed out to Luc that Jim works for him. So that was a very bold thing to say. But honest answer from you, greatest L.A. King. Gretzky's on an island by himself because he came in here and transformed hockey. We'll put him on a pedestal and leave him to the side. Most significant Los Angeles King of all time is who?
Well, you got a lot of people to choose from because I saw in 44 years of doing the broadcast.
Marcel Dion's on that list.
Marcel Dion, Luc Robitaille, so many players. Rogie Vachon, who was the first superstar here in goal.
And led to Jonathan Quick helping lead the Kings to 2 cups, probably more personally responsible for those 2 cups than anybody.
Yeah. And so we saw so many outstanding players, and yet we went through years where we didn't win a lot because we didn't have the team behind them that could support that kind of play. But let's say I'm going to disagree with Jim. I don't do it very often, but I'm not going to go against the team president.
Who is the Kings' all-time leading goal scorer, by the way.
Luc Robitaille, who, for someone who was drafted that low because he couldn't skate, and he's in the Hall of Fame, leading goal scorer, and so many other records that he set, and he is great in the public eye with fans.
Sure
Always
is,
has
yeah.
been.
And that's what we
great.
needed, his personality. And so I would say Luke, and I'm not dismissing Andrei Kopitar,
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
who was outstanding every year, leading the team and scoring. And
Bob might finish, I would assume now we can say it, might finish like Kobe did, only one team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
right.
even Gretzky played for Gretzky, Messier, Luke.
Yeah, it's rare
all those
that
guys
that
played
happens,
for multiple
yeah.
teams. For one guy to be the best player on one team for that long is a real accomplishment that Kopitar should feel proud about.
And Dustin Brown's in there. He played his whole career in a Kings uniform and
Team
played,
captain.
Yeah, team
youngest
captain, 2
captain
Stanley
in,
Cups.
in Kings history. All right, then the last thing I had for you is how do we put Connor McDavid into perspective? He makes plays, Bob, every once in a while. I had one the other night where I went, last time I saw that was 99. He might be in, there's an elite class. Gretzky, Lemieux, maybe a couple of other guys you could put in there, the Bobby Orrs, the Bobby Hulls. The guy in D.C. is pretty good, Ovechkin.
Yeah. Gordie Howe.
But McDavid, to me, I know he's young, but it seems like has that level of talent. Am I overrating McDavid?
No, I think you can take that pedestal that Wayne's on and make a little bit of room next to him.
You think that good?
Oh, yeah.
For Connor McDavid. And Connor McDavid, in the start of this series with Florida, they're down 3-0 Edmonton, and he's not even in the mention of the Conn Smythe as the most valuable player.
Right.
Now, he's the one that people are saying, win or lose this series, he's going to get that Conn Smythe
Mace,
trophy.
he has 8 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
And then they go at it again tomorrow night.
Tonight.
In game,
Or is it tonight?
Is
Tonight?
tonight's game 6?
Yeah. And it's in Edmonton.
Yeah. So they got a chance to
I'll
force a
tell
game
you what,
7.
if he brings them back from 0-3, I'll tell you who's winning the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the whole series has shifted now to where Edmonton is getting all the favoritism.
Well, and they figured out how to score. They couldn't score in the first 2 games.
And they've killed 44 of the last 45 penalties they've taken.
Not only that, but they've scored 2 short-handed goals while they've been doing that.
Yeah.
So the series has flipped. Having said all that, Florida has 2 chances. All I got to do is win one, and it's over.
Yep.
And people are saying if Bobrovsky in goal, who was spectacular the first several games, if he gets a shutout tonight and they win the Cup, that Conn Smythe trophy jumps over
he
him.
probably deserves it. Although Matthew Tkachuk made a play the other night. He didn't get all the credit for it that he should. But that dive where he saved the puck from going in the net, they had a chance to get an empty net goal. He skates back. I said runs. Skates back, dives, throws his stick at the puck,
I saw this,
keeps it up, and then as soon as he does it, McDavid just blasts it into the net.
Yeah.
But Florida's probably still favored. I mean, they're up 3-2.
Yeah.
They
may
2
be a
games.
slight underdogs tonight at Edmonton.
Yeah.
But you got one game to win, and you're going home to get that game 7. If you have a game 7, you want it at home.
Right.
And that's what they're going to have.
Yes.
So,
yes.
It is great to see you. We miss
Awesome
you. We
to
miss
see you,
seeing you
Bob.
do the games, but it's great to have you here, and it's great to have the Kings back here, especially if it means we get to see you.
Well, great to see you guys and be on with you. Thank you for having me, and I was so happy to see you guys win that award at the Sportscasters
that's
Well,
nice.
you know,
Thank
you know what
you.
we call those? We call those
We
Bob
call
Miller
those the Bob
Awards.
Miller Awards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know one guy in this room called him that.
That's what I call them. The Bob Miller Awards. Exactly.
So I was glad to see him win it.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Bob, it is awesome to have you here. Thank you so much. Always an honor to catch up.
thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Coming back next, we'll crank up the show. Big Friday, JJ Redick and the Mandys, all that stuff coming up. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Starting Monday, September 9th, there's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it means the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins an hour earlier. Even more live and local LA sports talk on 710 ESPN. The Travis and Sliwa Show will start at 9 a.m. Mason and Ireland move back to noon to 3, and Shadano and Cappy start the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we are the destination for LA sports. It's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it begins Monday, September 9th. .710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN. Coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
ESPN 710, Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Friday afternoon.
What is with you? You're just weird.
How's that?
What is with you in this jacuzzi thing?
Here we go, Friday on Mandy's Friday, 1 day away from the biggest party 710 throws all year tomorrow night at the Commerce Casino, Mandy's 3. The questions remain. Will Steve Mason finally win Host of the Year? Will Mason and Ireland pull off another Show of the Year award? We know John Ireland's usually a lock for most knowledgeable, but how about Bit of the Year? All those answers tomorrow. By the way, don't forget the Red Carpet Show with Corporate Craig and the Big CY Quentin Yates starts at 4:30 p.m. at ESPN Los Angeles. And all the coverage all night long. If you're not going to be at the show, we've got it covered on our social channels.
So you put your thing in a pouch, and when you walk out of the theater, they unzip the pouch for you. You can't do it by yourself.
Oh, yeah, we got another major announcement. New lineup starting this fall. Mason and Ireland back in your lunch hour. Keep listening for more details. Let's get to it. Celebrating their 20th year on the air at ESPN Los Angeles. The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. Your Friday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's always a good show. We can start with Hall of Famer Bob Miller. I'll tell you that much.
The best.
You can have Bob Miller on the radio. You let him on the radio.
What a great man. What a nice man he is, and what a brilliant broadcaster.
You've had so many guests this week, John. Can I
That's
get a
true,
little
Greg.
help?
It's been so guesty.
You did nothing to get any of them. But
Yes, I helped.
How did you help?
I walked across the street with Bob Miller.
You would do that even if he wasn't coming on the show.
For
Who
Bob
are you
Miller, I'll
kidding?
do whatever you want.
Exactly.
But yes,
Exactly.
I walked him over and made this all happen.
So the big announcement today, Ireland, is that we're moving to noon to 3. Again, I missed the call, so I had no idea this was going down.
You want to bring that up again?
Apparently now I'm going to have to wake up before 9 o'clock in order to be ready for the show.
It takes you 3 hours
To
get here and be ready?
to prep the show.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
the prep part.
Yeah.
Bob Miller was just talking about preparation.
Right.
I'm Mr. Preparation. I prepare.
sit
I'm
in-
prepared for
I
Monday
see your
show.
prep. I
Yeah.
see your prep
Wait,
every
you
day.
have to get up way before 9.
Yeah, you're right. I do.
Like way before.
I do.
How are you going to be on the Blue Review at 8:30?
Is the Blue Review moving to 8:30?
Sure is.
Really?
Yeah.
They're on air.
Everything's going earlier now.
Everything. And then at night now, we've got play-by-play of everybody.
Everybody. And
Did
also,
I hear you say we're going to have 500 play-by-play events over the next year?
over the next year, when we get into September, we're going to have over
Between
500.
the Lakers, the Rams, the Kings, USC, LAFC, all the
Angels.
ESPN stuff, Angels.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, yeah.
Wow.
All of that. And you can find it all in one place, the ESPN LA app. There's no app in this country that will get you something like that. All your local sports in one
Oh, and
space.
let me
it's true. Yeah.
and let me tell people something about that app.
Yeah.
So you need to once you click on the app. I was using it today.
Yep.
Once you click on the app, it gives you several choices. You can't just click the listen live button. You have to pick what you want.
It's working for me.
Yeah,
That's our show.
You
right
just had the
now.
listen live button.
Exactly.
But
And there's a button
there's
for
a
us.
whole, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can like if you want to listen to the Lakers, you have to hit the listen live on the Lakers.
If you want to listen
the
to
Angels,
LAFC, there's a button
right.
for LAFC.
So make sure you take that extra step to pick exactly what you want to
Yes.
listen to. But to Greg's point, it's all there. It's
Yes.
all in the same app.
It's fantastic. So, Bergman, I talked to you a little bit about this, and Ireland and I and Travis were talking about it a little. I forget if it was on the air or off the air. So, tomorrow's schedule.
Yes.
The show starts at 8.
Correct.
Okay.
Don't complain.
Red carpet part is from...
The red carpet show is from 4:30 to 5:30. At 4 o'clock, doors open.
Doors open.
Yes. At 4:30 is the start of the red carpet show. It ends at 5:30.
Okay, so that means
what happens between 5:30 and 8?
So from 5 to 6 is going to be the meet and greets where you all and all of us, each
Pictures
show,
with everybody,
pictures,
yeah.
signatures, all
Right.
of that. We're all doing meet and greets from 5 to 6. And then we have a band that is playing as well. It's Tierra Legacy is going to be playing from about 6:30 to 7:30-ish. 6:30 to 6:45.
Yeah.
You have to be in your seats by 7:30. The show will begin at 8 o'clock exactly.
Okay.
Why don't we just start the show at 7? We're all going to be there.
I know. Well, I think all
Because
this
Tierra
stuff...
Legacy is going from 6:30
all
to 7:15.
this stuff,
They have to set everything up. They have to break it all down.
I am very excited.
Good. You should be
Regardless
excited.
of
It's
what
gonna be a
time we're
blast.
supposed to be, I'm super excited for it. I love the Mandys. I love meeting everybody that's out there and listening to the show, consuming the show every single day, and all you P1s. This party is for you. It'll be really fun tomorrow night. So we got a lot of stuff going on today. We've got I got a bunch of JJ Redick stuff. JJ Redick named head coach of the Lakers yesterday. All right, has he officially been named? Has this been?
It's not official.
We're still running on a Woj report?
It is a Woj report. Everybody's reported it, but the Lakers have not officially announced it.
But we anticipate he'll be introduced as the Lakers head coach at some point next week. At some point.
At some point.
Yeah. All right.
If it is him, we don't know.
We're going to do the Wheel of Questions coming back next. Plus, John, I've got this. J.J. Redick, in his own words, on why he thinks he would make a great head coach. It's from 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, he was talking about coaching, and he described why he thinks he's got the right skill set for the job. So we got JJ in his own words, plus the Wheel of Questions next. Mason in Ireland, day before the Mandy, 710 ESPN. All right, it's Friday. That means I get a little more time to talk about the LA County Department of Mental Health and my partnership with them. So I did this in the Mindful Minute as well, which you'll see on video. But your mental health journey can be challenging, can be difficult. And it may be that you're struggling right now. It may be that you're having a hard time, and there's some stuff that you can try and do beyond the obvious. Tell somebody, make a call, all that stuff. You can try stuff like, acupuncture has been successful in working with mood. Diet, exercise, yoga. It's actually International Yoga Day. Another thing, meditation. All these things contribute to your mental health. And as you do that, if you need emotional support, all you got to do is call the LA County Department of Mental Health at 800-854-7771. If you're saying to yourself, I need a psychologist, I need somebody to talk to, I need a mental health professional, 800-854-7771. And if you're in crisis at any point, use the number right away, 800-854-7771. You can also visit their website at dmh.lacounty.gov. The LA County Department of Mental Health is all about hope and recovery and well-being. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
There's nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
across the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go.
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
Oh,
Wow.
Nick Robitaille waited for a second.
Wow. That's right.
Does not like that one.
He does not like
Do a
the
different
wheel
one. He didn't-
question.
Should I change my
Yeah, Luke
question?
didn't like it. Go to a
Change the
different one.
question.
Brian, do it again. We got to land on something else. Can
Okay.
we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one's interesting.
It's electrifying.
All right.
It might be. We will find out. We will find out. So today I woke up really early and I was running around, so I was able to catch a little bit of radio in the morning. And there was a certain DJ that was talking about how...
Was it Woody on the Woody Show?
No, it was not.
Who was it?
It was Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest. Okay.
Ryan's Roses?
I've heard of him.
No, not Ryan's Roses. But they were talking about how often do you wash your clothing?
Right.
So I was like,
Oh,
okay.
boy.
I was like, I wash my clothes every time I use them. They go in the hamper and I wash them. That's just how I roll. But apparently not everyone is like that, okay? Ryan says he only washes his PJs once a week.
Okay.
And I was like, that is very weird. But I wanted to know, how often do you guys wash your clothing?
Well, as you know, I'm very anal. I do more loads of laundry than any of you.
Yes.
I probably
give you a run for your money.
do a load a day.
A load a day.
That's
Wow.
insanity.
That is amazing.
It's insanity.
Well,
That's
keep
too
in
much water.
mind that I do it for the whole house. So I will do... Jack does his own. So it's
Right.
basically me and Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa does zero laundry, none. And so I just make sure that and Laura, I'm like, wear it once, it's in the hamper.
Me too.
See, I'm not
Same.
that way.
I am.
Like jeans are.
Jeans are different.
Yeah,
Jeans
once
are-
every
Jeans-
2-3 weeks.
Yeah, jeans
Whoa.
are...
2-3 weeks.
Oh yeah, 2-3
Yeah,
weeks.
what's wrong with that?
Oh, no.
Absolutely 2-3
yeah,
weeks.
they're jeans. You
100%
want it
right.
once they start fitting right. You want them to.
He's right.
You, once
With
you-
jeans,
It's
I
awfully a
wash
couple,
my
like,
my
layers.
jeans probably. I'll wear them 3 times, then I'll wash them.
And dress shirts,
That's different.
I will not take to the dry cleaners after wearing them. Like the second time I wear them, they'll go to the dry cleaners.
No,
I'm that way-
one time with a shirt.
I'm that way
dress
with
shirt.
suits. I don't.
Suit,
I
sure.
don't send my suits to the dry cleaners more than once or twice a year.
Yeah, Brian, what about you? You look very clean.
Oh, yeah. I mean, besides the jeans, 2-3 wears, everything else in the hamper after
Right
one
away.
time.
Undies? Gross.
2-3 wears.
Yeah,
For
that's weird.
jeans only.
For jeans.
Okay, okay.
Everything
for
else.
jeans.
Yeah.
I think everybody does the same thing with their jeans, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
I think so.
Ireland's talking. We're going back and forth. It's all
We're
the
playing
same.
charades.
there's,
We are
there's
playing
a lot
charades.
Okay,
But no, I get my laundry picked up every other week.
got it.
All right,
yeah,
all
from
right.
you,
But
you
wear
use
once.
the rinse
yeah,
app.
Rinse
yeah.
app. You use it once, and that's it.
And Laura, you're super neat, super clean.
I'm like Ireland. You wear it once, you wash it, reuse it.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of clothes,
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know how you're.
No. I don't know if you guys all know this. The man walking into the studio.
Yes.
The great Daryl Evans is the best dressed sportscaster I have ever met, and it's not close.
Always looks great.
Not
Always
close.
looks great.
There is no second. And because we picked up the Kings this week, Daryl is nice enough to join us now. How are you, man?
I'm absolutely wonderful. How you guys
When
doing
did
today?
that start? Did you dress like that when you were a player, or did it not happen until you went into sportscasting?
No, I think it goes back to, I remember the very first suit I got. My family didn't have a lot of money, and I remember getting my first three-piece suit.
Right.
And it was something that I really thought was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then my one grandmother, she bought me a pocket watch as an accessory.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like,
that's-
so
So
I had,
now you're off and running.
yeah, and I just love that look. And then I think when I got into the NHL, where I was actually going out now and buying my own clothes and things, I start to see things, and certain things that catch my eye. Like there was a time in the 80s when leather pants were out, leather
course.
ties,
There you
the
go.
thin ties.
Yeah.
The fedoras, which are coming back in again.
Right.
Pinstripes were big back
Yeah,
then.
I will
you know
say
what
this.
You know what us kids call that? Drip. You've got
Yeah.
drip.
Well, the other thing is you have some of the boldest suits anyone has ever worn. You give Don Cherry a run for his money. Is there ever been a suit that somebody has shown to you and you said, that's even too loud for me?
I can't say. I really can't say that I say I wouldn't wear that.
Right. You would say, okay.
Yeah, no, it's like
Yeah.
I'll remember Don Cherry in 2012 when the Kings were playing against the New Jersey Devils in the Stanley Cup Final, and Don Cherry. I was very flattered.
You both walked in at the same time?
Well, he asked me, he goes, where do you get your suits? And I'm going, you're asking me where I get my suit. And I had something relatively tame on that day. And, so I told him, I said, how about yourself, Don? Where do you get your stuff? He goes, from a furniture material place.
That's really
furniture material.
Yeah, he wears Don wears some suits that make it look like somebody's couch.
Yeah,
so that's true.
Yeah, because I remember, I've been to a lot of fabric stores, and I haven't seen a lot of that kind of stuff. But when he told me that, I'm going, that makes sense.
All right, so for people who don't know, Daryl's part of the Kings broadcast team. We had the great Bob Miller in earlier.
Yeah.
Bob is the dean of all hockey
Yes, he
announcers, not just in L.A., but really around the league. And, Daryl, you guys are doing something kind of fun. You're going back to the simulcast, which is what we all grew up listening to. So when we listen to you guys on the radio, if the game happens to be on TV, you'll also do it with Nick Nixon, with Jim Fox, and with you. Are you having as much fun as it sounds like you guys are having?
Yeah, I really am. And, I hope those guys are as well. I think for the first year, transitioning into it, I'm sure probably, Jim and Nick have done that a little bit throughout their careers, being that they've been involved more than I have. But first time that I've been involved with something like that, and I thought that the chemistry between the three of us was really good. The different perspectives that we can provide, so I really like it. I think it's got a long way to grow. I think there's so many different elements that we can bring to the broadcast. So I'm looking forward to year two.
So you scored the game-winning goal in the Miracle on Manchester. People,
I was there.
John was there for it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, in your life highlights, if you put together a list of all the highlights of your life, hockey, non-hockey, where does that goal land?
Probably a lot of people want to say it's the highlight of your life.
Yeah,
but I really can't say that. I think putting the uniform on for the first time and playing in the NHL was something that I'll never forget. Something that you dream about as a kid, and for the most fact, and I've said this to a lot of people, I'm probably more proud of what I've accomplished post-career than I actually did playing.
I think you're more famous now. Would you agree? And you're a good player, but now I think broadcasting to as many people as you do in a city with 16 million people, I think more people recognize you now as Daryl Evans broadcaster than they did Daryl Evans hockey player. Or am I wrong?
No, I think you're probably right in that regard. I didn't have as long a career as I would like to have had.
How long did you play?
I think I got traded. I was drafted in 80, got traded to Washington in 85, 86, and then was with Toronto up through maybe 87, 88. And then
so the 80s were pretty much your career, that decade.
Yeah, the 80s. Yeah. It was just 80s. Then I spent the last 2 years of my career over in Europe, 1 year in Italy, 1 year in England. And again, it seemed like it was a blink of an eye, but again, what I've done post-career, I've always been involved with youth hockey or camps and clinics since day one when I started back in the 81-82 season, and that's something that I pride myself in, getting involved in youth hockey, started up the girls program, the LA Lions. I was a president of that for a while, commissioner of the High School Hockey League, the camps and clinics. All that kind of stuff.
Mace, I don't want to sell any of this short. And Daryl will back me up on this. When he was playing for the Kings, if you were a young guy in Southern California and you wanted to play hockey, your ice time was limited to 6 a.m. in the morning, Daryl.
Yep.
I mean, and maybe at night, if the rink owner had a good heart, you would say, well, your rink closes at 9. Can we come in after that? And you had to fight for ice time for years. And now, I mean, from the Toyota Center where you guys are a lot, but all of Disney Ice down in Anaheim. Now, if you want to be a hockey player in Southern California, you have options that Daryl Evans never had when you were growing up, right?
No, it was crazy. I remember back the first year when the Kings, we had a hockey camp, and Marcel Dion was teaching and things like that, and all those guys. And the equivalent of about a 15-year-old kid here was about the equivalent of a 6, 7-year-old back in Toronto, where I grew up.
Because there was no youth hockey here.
Yeah, there was no youth hockey. And now just to see the way that it's evolved, not only the numbers, but the skill of these young players. And I know times when, like Marcel and those guys have come through, they look at the young kids on the ice and they say, I can't do some of that stuff.
Right,
and they're right. I mean, the things that these kids are exposed to, but the growth of the game, and look at what the Kings have done, internationally over the years. We went over to London, went Sweden, over to China. This past year, we were over in Australia. and continue to keep growing the game.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll never forget, Mace. We had Tony Granato on back in the day,
right?
And Cammie, his sister, had been a key part of the women's Olympic team in the U.S.
Yeah. Yep.
And Tony told us, he goes, we asked Tony the same question Mason just asked you about career highlights. Where does watching your sister play in the Olympics? He said, you guys aren't going to believe me. It's number one, because if you think it was hard for boys to get ice time, imagine being girls and trying to get ice time and doing that.
Crazy.
And so you've done, you are to be commended, my friend. You've done a lot for youth hockey.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new ballgame. Who do you like tonight? Have you been watching the finals?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the series seems to have flipped. I guess Florida's still the favorite, but McDavid
isn't favored tonight.
Well, and McDavid has figured out how to score, which he couldn't do in the first two games. What do you think?
Well, before the series started, I favored Florida. I just thought that they were a better team from the first man to the last man, better goaltending.
They looked like it in games 1 and 2 for sure.
So, they win the first 3 games of the series. Not surprised to see Edmonton win, maybe not in the fashion that they did in Game 4. Last game, I thought Edmonton owned the beginning of the game, and the way Florida finished the game, that's what I expect to see Florida come out tonight and probably end the series tonight. That would be my guess. So I still favor Florida a little bit, but with guys like McDavid and Draisaitl on your team, they give you a chance just like Gretzky did back in the time.
Hey, last thing for you. I want to ask you about this new partnership, ESPN and the Los Angeles Kings. Games on the radio, games on the app, lots of coverage now all over
They'll
ESPN.
be the TV broadcast team, too. They simulcast everything.
Exactly. So what do you think this ESPN and the Kings together, what do you think that means?
Oh, this is great. I think this is a big day in Kings hockey. Allows us to really broaden our horizons with the crowd, the people that we can reach out to. Looking forward to it, and I know in the short period of time that when it was announced, just how many people have reached out to me and said, finally, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to hear the response that we get. I think we've got a real exciting hockey club that's got the potential to do a lot of big things in the upcoming years. A lot of good young players are going to be around LA for a lot of years, so hopefully this is a relationship that'll continue for a long time.
Mace,
Absolutely.
I will tell you this. Daryl is the only person in town while I will tune in specifically to see what he's wearing.
Absolutely. Look at that drip. Look at that drip. Hey, Daryl, awesome to get you in here. Excited about the new
don't
partnership.
be a stranger. Come in anytime.
And definitely come by anytime.
I look forward to it, guys. Maybe in my birthday suit one time.
Oh, there you go.
I would tune in.
Yeah, we'd watch. All right, coming up next for you, we are going to do some sports graffiti, 877-710-ESPN, Mason, Ireland, on the home of the Los Angeles Kings, 710 ESPN.
710
Nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
across the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go.
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go.
Ireland on 710 ESPN. Don't get it twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles, and we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
All right, here we go. Sports Graffiti. We've had Bob Miller. We had Daryl Evans. It's been a gigantic first hour, day before the Mandy's. It's Friday. Great news on that. And tomorrow night's the Mandy Awards. So still people, JJ Redick. We're going to circle back around to that. Next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. We anticipate will be introduced at some point next week. But in the meantime, 877-710-ESPN, 15 to 20 seconds of airtime. It will be yours. Let's start out with Abraham. Abraham, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Abraham.
Yes, sir. I'm excited with JJ Redick, but also bummed about my girl Cameron Brink.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that.
That's sad.
The other thing about Abraham, I'm glad you brought that up, and thank you for calling in. The other thing about the Cameron Brink thing is she's out for the year. She tore ACL. That also knocks her out of the Olympics.
She was going to be in the 3-on-3.
She was on the 3-on-3. Caitlin Clark cannot be a replacement on the 3-on-3 team. It's a different process. They can't shoehorn her in there.
Right.
She still could be on the regular team if somebody else suffers an injury. But if you're one of those people that thought Cameron Brink out, can we put Cameron Brink or can we put Caitlin Clark in? And you cannot.
Yeah.
No. But Dearica Hamby, who is Caitlin's favorite teammate, the kind of leader of the Sparks, is the leading candidate to replace Brink.
Oh, okay.
So somebody from the Sparks looks like they'll be on that 3-on-3
All right,
team.
let's go to Charlie. Charlie, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Charlie.
What happened to Amanda Brown? And also, when you have all these shows on, how are you going to juggle them if the Kings are playing the same time as the Lakers?
Those are good questions. Yeah. Amanda is now the program director for an all-sports station in Denver.
And doing great.
As a matter of fact, Michael and I had dinner with her twice when the Lakers were playing the Nuggets in the playoffs. She loves it back there. And your other question is a good one. What happens if the Lakers, USC, the Kings, that's what Greg was talking about earlier, it's all on the app.
Right. So some of it will be live, and then some of it will be on the app, but it'll be every game one way or the other.
Every game will be on the app, but yes.
And will be live on the app, right?
Live on the app. What's on 710 will depend. The Lakers are always going to take precedence, except for sometimes with the Rams.
Right, but I want to get back to something you were saying last hour.
Sure.
Download the app now.
Yeah.
Like don't
100%.
sit around and wait, because that caller, the answer to his question is it's all on the app.
Yep.
And once you get it and download it, you'll use it all the time. I am not somebody who uses a lot of apps.
Right.
I use the ESPN LA app every day.
All the time. The crystal clear audio.
And again,
unbelievably easy app to use.
Choices up to 500 events next year, and that's why you got to get the app. And here's the most important thing. It's free.
Yes.
So we're not asking you to buy anything. Just download the app, and then you'll have it.
Let's go to Big Mike. Big Mike, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Big Mike.
Yeah, you know something? I get so tired of hearing about the Lakers having a tainted championship in the bubble. If people would remember that year, the great Kobe Bryant, they had to deal with his death. Of course, Kobe was worldwide. I think it should go down as one of the greatest championships of all time.
In a lot of ways, I agree with you. In a lot of ways, I think the bubble championship was harder.
I think it was tougher.
Because no home court advantage.
Yep.
Right?
Weird circumstances. You're away at some hotel playing, locked down.
It was straight basketball.
Yep.
And who wants it more? Yeah. And they got it. I agree with that guy.
I think it was tougher. Let's go to Steve. Steve, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Steve.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Question for Bergman. Is he there?
Yeah, Greg.
Greg, this is for you.
Greg,
yeah, go ahead.
If you win the most hated award, on the Mandy's, but you later find out a bunch of anti-Semites voted, would you still be happy with the victory?
That's a weird question.
Oh, God.
But you would have no way of ever. You can't find out.
I would never know that.
Yeah. So
I don't even want to think that is a real thing.
I mean, look.
Well, because this Israel-Palestine thing is in everybody's lives every day.
I just don't want to think that people are voting with that in their head.
No, I really hope not either. Look, I am Jewish. I don't. If other people don't like me because I'm Jewish, that is.
Then they're anti-Semites.
They're anti-Semitic.
They absolutely suck as human beings.
I'm not going to have
and by the way, if you're one of them, go listen to somebody
if you're
else.
a bad person, we don't want you.
I don't really want to
Bad
deal with
person.
anti-Semitic people.
Yes, no,
know?
none of us do.
None of us do.
Bergman. We love you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go.
I don't love you, but I don't have anything against you for being
When
Jewish.
I said love, I used air quotes. All right, Al, you're on Sports Graffiti.
I love
Go,
you,
Al.
Ireland.
Hey, what's up, fellas? First things first, I called earlier on the Travis and Sewell show. They said I won some Mandy tickets. I never got a confirmation.
All right,
Okay.
hold on. Greg will
We'll get
with
to that. Do you have one other thing?
No, let him hang up on him. Or don't hang up. We'll put him on hold.
Okay. Let's go to CJ. CJ, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, CJ.
The greatest sports station in all of California. That's Mason Iron. Anyway, that hiring of J.J. Redick was a doggone good hire, and I hope he could take the same journey that another guy named Pat Riley went. If you see, Pat Riley won 5 championships, did not have no experience.
Yep.
J.J. Redick, I hope if he's surrounded by a good cast of coaches around him, I think he'll go the same journey.
All right, man.
There's
I like
somebody that likes the
optimism.
Redick hire.
That is the template, is the Pat Riley template. Let's go to David. David, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead, David.
Hey, Mace, I just want to say I hope you get your Mandy. You deserve it. You're the best ever. And as far as Greg getting the most hated, oh, my God, that is that is Morales' award to lose.
I won it. I don't care if Morales is the right one.
I can't stand Morales.
Yeah.
I stand him.
Well, you know what, David?
Neither can we.
Neither can we.
Neither can we. Neither can we.
That's why I think Morales is probably the favorite for that award.
Yeah, Bergman, it would be so sad if you lose that. Will you be upset?
I will be upset if I lose that.
Will Carlo mic you when you...
I don't know. Maybe you can go ask
nobody's
me.
miking me for anything.
No, you don't want to be mic'd.
I'm unmiked.
I might curse if I lose that one. It might be a whole thing.
Mother effer, right?
Yeah.
Mother.
Let's take
Razzle-frazzle.
Let's take one more. Let's go to Alex. Alex, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead, Alex.
Put some respect on my LA Galaxy, man.
We're LAFC fans. We hope you
No,
lose.
no.
Yeah.
I have nothing against the Galaxy, but this is the home of LAFC. All right, there you go. There is your Sports Graffiti for today. Let me see. Okay, so I got 2 years ago, John. 2 years ago.
Okay.
J.J. Redick did an interview and described why he thought he would become a really good head coach. So I got that coming up for you next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, Mirror Audio Video has been serving LA sports fans for more than 40 years. Isaac and Roy and the team at Mirror can offer for you products and services others just don't offer. Cutting-edge home automation from Crestron, Lutron, and Control4. You want to have one-touch control over everything? From your pool to your lights to your window shades? Mirror can do it. Better, faster Wi-Fi? Got to be Mirror. And here's the most important thing. Off-the-chart customer service. You know when you call some big company and they throw you into phone jail? Never happens with Mirror. You call, Isaac or Roy picks up, and just like that, you're taken care of. So do like we do. Call Mirror Audio Video today. 310-234-4010. That's 310-234-4010. Tell them Mason and Ireland sent you. They'll hook you up for sure. That's Mirror Audio Video in Westwood.
There's a new fall lineup coming.
There's nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
across the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go.
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the Ice Girls at a Kings game. Go, Kings, go. Go, Kings, go. Go, Kings, go.
G's of LA Sports Radio, we're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
So yesterday we were talking about art and mentioned that I have a painting that I did that is hanging in my house.
Good for you.
In your grand hallway?
In my grand hallway. And
above your mantle?
The only person I've showed the painting to so far is Bergman.
I actually thought it was really good. I couldn't do it.
See.
I'm very sensitive about it because I'm an artist. And I don't, John, I'm going to show you, and then you tell me, give me your honest,
that is going across
real
YouTube right
reaction.
now, since you're pushing it towards the camera. So,
You did not paint this by numbers?
No, I did not.
I really want to see it now.
Go into the studio.
I am. Wait, can I, Mace?
It's
I want to see
It's
this.
not bad, but it's not good.
Oh.
It is somewhere in the middle.
So what I said to him was,
My favorite part is he wrote Mason in the
I
corner.
did. I wrote Mason in the corner. I'm glad
you
you
got to
picked
sign
that up.
it.
Yeah, you
what
gotta
I
sign
said,
it.
what I said to him was, if you put it on social media, people will say it looks like a 2-year-old.
Laura, if you want to come look, come look.
Yeah, come look,
So
Laura.
no matter, you're gonna get hatred if you put it on there,
Now,
and
should
you don't
I-
get a lot of it.
should
No,
I
I'd
put it out?
up.
You
I'd
put it up?
Yeah, I think most people are going to agree with me.
That it's mediocre?
It's not bad, but it's not good. Laura,
Could
would
you do it?
agree? Would you agree with that assessment?
So these are flowers, right?
Correct. They are flowers.
That's not good that she had to
No,
ask.
no. I like it. I actually like it.
Do you want to buy a print?
Yeah.
Do you agree with me, though, that it's not bad, but
not
it's
bad.
not good?
It's not bad, and it's decent.
It's
I like,
decent.
Look,
You know what it is, Mace? You always strive for? Respectfully mediocre.
You have shades. You have shades.
I did put shades on it, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to think about putting it on.
Yeah, no, I think you should
so
put it up
sensitive.
and just let people debate,
Okay, I'll
and I
put it
think
up.
they will come in kind of where I
Next
did.
break, I'll
People will absolutely kill it. But I think
people,
it was good. I
some
could not
people
do
will
that.
love it. Some people will love it.
Yeah, Ireland, you could not do that.
No, I wouldn't even try.
I'm
Exactly.
going to show you guys mine.
I think the art critics of the world will say it's brilliant. I think everybody else will say you suck. That's the way I think it'll go down.
They will all say, "Good job, Mace," or "It sucks."
Way to go,
No one's
Mace.
going to say it was brilliant.
Way to go, Mace.
Way to go. All the people on the Reddit will love it and say it's the greatest thing they've ever seen.
Yeah,
They'll buy
the
print.
people on the Reddit will destroy it.
No ideas what happens in the Reddit. I've not been there,
One of them
as
just
you
called
know.
in the last segment.
You think that was a Reddit person?
100%.
Yeah, that sucks.
He sucks.
That's, by the way, that is the downside of sports graffiti is that we don't know what's coming.
Yep.
So sometimes what's coming
Isn't good.
isn't good. But
Yeah,
that's
that's
part
what
of
I told Greg.
part of the high wire act of taking calls that are unscreened. All right, so JJ Redick is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and I was doing a deep dive on stuff about JJ Redick. And one of the things I found was an interview that he did with a podcaster named Taylor Rooks. Do you know Taylor Rooks?
I do.
And she and JJ were on a podcast in 2022 talking about coaching potential. Here's that.
I feel like I know the game pretty well. Yeah. I feel like because of some coaches I played for, really specifically Coach K, like he taught me about adaptability. And our game, the NBA, changes so fast year to year. You could be in an era and you think it's going to be a 10-year era, and it could be a year or two. Mm-hmm. The mindset of just being open to change, I think that's really good. One of my greatest skills as a human being is my ability to communicate and communicate in an open and transparent way. And I did that as a teammate. And I think that's part of coaching is just not avoiding things and not avoiding confrontation. Locker rooms, team chemistry, it's a very fragile thing. We see it all the time in the NBA. I look at coaching as a way to help. And, there's the competitive part of it for sure. That's a major driving force. It's like I had so many people help me in my career, and not just head coaches, but assistant coaches, player development people. And they have such a valuable place in my heart and in my life. And I'd love to be one of those people someday.
So there you have it. Now he is one of those people. And so this coaching thing has been around for a while. He's been thinking about coaching for the last few years. This was 2 years ago, and finally he winds up in a job, and it's the marquee job in the National Basketball Association. He is definitely going to be in the spot, but all of that is encouraging to me. The most encouraging thing, adaptability. Now, the key to that is, John, so he is going to be coaching LeBron and AD and LeBron for the next 2 or 3 years, potentially. He says adaptability, and I'll be able to coach past LeBron. I'm adaptable. I'm able to evolve. And the other thing is he understands the dynamics of a locker room. He's been in a locker room. He's been on a team. And I think he said, I'm not afraid of confrontation when it's necessary, but I'm mostly there to help. I like what I heard from JJ Redick in that.
I'm glad that the Lakers did not hire a retread. I said this yesterday. I'm ready for something new and different. We've had 7 coaches since Phil Jackson retired. None of them have been able to put a stranglehold on the job, and maybe he can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you've tried everything else. What's wrong? I mean, I read Bill Platchey's column. He hates this idea, thinks it's a disaster.
This is his second bad column about JJ. Yeah.
How do you know unless you try it?
Right.
And so let's see what happens. Now, I do think the Lakers need to get him players.
Coaches.
Players?
No, players
okay. That fit the system he wants to try and run. He's been very, very high on the Celtics and how everybody on their team can shoot threes.
Right.
So they move the ball around, get it to them. You couldn't say that about the Lakers. Not everybody can, AD doesn't take a lot of threes.
Right.
You don't want Cam Reddish taking threes. You don't necessarily want Vando taking threes.
Right.
So they've got to get some guys who can give him that option.
Although the one thing he said, and we played this yesterday, I don't know where it is, but he said it's not about a system, it's about creating the system around the talent that you have.
Am I the only one here that wants to keep D'Angelo Russell? Greg, or where are you on that?
I would keep him. He was a great three-point shooter. He just falls apart in the playoffs. But, yes, I would absolutely keep him, but for a low, low deal.
Yeah, I would keep him, and by the way, I don't think get he'll get the deal that he's got now.
He's going to opt into that. That's fine. Opt into that.
No,
deal.
I don't think he's going to opt in.
I think he's going to opt out.
If he opts out, I don't think he comes back.
I agree with that. If he opts out, I don't think he comes back. But I'll say this.
He's not going to get anything else.
It presents a problem for the Lakers if he were to opt in. Because at that point, at least at that point without moving anybody, the only salary cap space they've got would be the $3 million mid-level exception. So he does tighten things if he signs back in. They get a little bit more maneuverability if he's not. Now, ideally, what are the odds of a sign-in trade?
Possible, but here's why I think he's going to opt out.
He can get more money?
Well, in a manner of speaking. So I think that, look this up, Greg, but I think the player option he has is for $19 million. So if he opts in, they'd have to pay him $19 million for 1 year. If you're him, if you're D'Angelo Russell, and on one hand you have 1 year, $19 million, but you get to stay in L.A. and play with the Lakers.
Right.
And some other team offers you 3 years, $45 million a year.
Right.
Isn't that a better deal?
Sure it is, because you're locking up more guaranteed money.
Right. So I think that's what happens.
I mean, do you think he's going to get that type of deal? And by the way, yes, you are correct. His player option is for $18,692, so $19
I thought it was
million.
$18,692.
Right. Okay, so
Round up.
I think the Lakers could afford to give him 3 years, $45.
Yeah, but is that where you want to spend?
They're not going to give him 3 years, $45.
That's where you want to spend your money.
That's not a lot of money in the NBA.
Right, but
he would be at that number. I think he'd be the 5th or 6th highest paid player on our team.
Sure, I just don't see them, after what he's done in the playoffs, giving him 3-year deal.
Right. I mean, the way I look at it is, do you want D'Angelo Russell, or do you want the stuff you can get when D'Angelo Russell opts out?
How would you guys feel about giving him 2 years, $30?
Again, is that the player that you want to use all your chips on?
If you don't give it to him, you got to find somebody else to play point guard. You and I have talked about Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
He can't be your 40 minutes a game.
Right. No, he can
guard.
give you 20 minutes a game, 22 minutes a game.
If you went out and got Chris Paul, and then you went out and got another low-priced guy who could give you, let's say you asked Chris Paul to give you 20 minutes a game or 25 minutes a game, and the other guy gives you 20, and you have Austin Reeves play the point for 5 to 7 minutes, then you're covered.
Right.
I think we're going to get a lot of answers over the next 2 weeks. You noticed yesterday, very quietly, kind of out of the blue, 2 good players got traded for each other when Alex Caruso got traded to Oklahoma City and Josh Giddey's going to the Bulls. I'm wondering who the next guy to get traded is.
You know, my friend Henry from the gym says that he thinks Oklahoma City won that deal because now they've got Lou Dort and Alex Caruso, and SGA is no slouch at defense, and that they've tightened things up defensively. What do you think of that?
He's right.
I think they win the trade.
Well,
we said it yesterday.
Do you guys remember?
Way to go, Henry. You're right.
This is what we're doing. Our sources are the guy from the gym.
The guy from the gym, Henry, is a good source.
Do you guys remember where Oklahoma City finished in the West last year?
First, right? Yeah.
And they just added Alex Caruso.
Yeah, no, they're going to be good.
And, by the way, Greg, look this up, too. I think they have 15 first-round picks in the next 3 years.
They also have like $35 million in cap room. They have money.
I mean,
to
they
spend.
are well. Yeah. Sam Presti has well positioned them to make a deep
Absolutely.
run.
Why? Well, that's a whole other
All
conversation.
right, coming up next for you, Reggie Jackson returned to Alabama last night.
This was weird.
And
weird.
Let's just say he's not on the Alabama Tourism Board. We'll do that coming up next. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, did you know it can take up to 11 weeks on average to hire for an open position? That's almost 2.5 months. Nobody's got that kind of time. If you're listening today, stop waiting. Start using ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find qualified candidates for all your roles fast. And right now, you can do it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. As Ian Siegel, the inventor of ZipRecruiter, likes to say, we don't leave anything to chance. So speed up your hiring process with ZipRecruiter. Go to that exclusive web address to try it for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to.
Starting Monday, September 9th, there's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it means the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins an hour earlier. Even more live and local LA sports talk on 710 ESPN. The Travis and Sliwa Show will start at 9 a.m. Mason and Ireland move back to noon to 3, and Shadano and Cappy start the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we are the destination for LA sports. It's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it begins Monday, September 9th. On 710 ESPN. Don't get it twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. And we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, it's Friday, not just any Friday. It's Friday before the Mandy Awards. Going to see all you guys tomorrow night at the Commerce Casino and Hotel. We promise it's going to be a great time.
All right, so we're about to play you something, and when you hear it, the thing that stuck out to me is that the person saying it, in this case it's Reggie Jackson, but when you hear the way he was treated when he came up through the minor leagues in Alabama, and then think about the fact that Mace, he's still alive. These guys are among us.
Right.
These guys, they're some of the greatest players of all time, and that they were treated like this is stunning to me.
Oh, it's just
so. Here's the backdrop.
horrifying.
They had a game last night in Alabama to honor the Negro Leagues.
Yep.
And it was the first ballpark that Willie Mays ever played in. They were hoping Willie was going to be there, but tragically he passed away right before the game, a couple days before the game. So it became kind of an honoring of Willie Mays.
Yeah.
And they brought all sorts of famous baseball players out to be a part of this. And one of them was Reggie Jackson. And you'll hear Alex Rodriguez ask him a question, and I think Alex fully expected Reggie to say, this is great. I'm glad we're doing this.
What a night.
He went the other way. Here it is. You got it, Brian?
Coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, when I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke, and they said, you think you're a better person? You think you won when you played here in Concord? I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, can't eat here. I would go to a hotel and they say, then can't stay here. We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner, and they pointed me out with the N-word. He can't come in here. Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, we're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted. Fortunately, I had a manager, Johnny McNamara, that if I couldn't eat in the place, nobody would eat. We'd get food to travel. If I couldn't stay in a hotel, they'd drive to the next hotel and find a place where I could stay. Had it not been for Raleigh Fingers, Johnny McNamara, Dave Duncan, Joe and Sharon Rudy, I slept on their couch 3-4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn our apartment complex down unless I got out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The year I came here, Bull Connor was the sheriff the year before. And they took minor league baseball out of here because in 1963, the Klan murdered 4 black girls, children, in 11, 12, 14 years old at a church here and never got indicted. They were from the Klan. Life magazine did a story on them like they were being honored. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. At the same time, had it not been for my white friends, had it not been for a white manager, and Rudy, Fingers, and Duncan, and Lee Myers, I would have never made it. I was too physically violent. I was ready to physically fight I'd have got killed here because I'd have beat someone's ass, and you'd have saw me in an oak tree somewhere.
Reggie, I can't even imagine. It's awful you had to go through that, but appreciate you sharing the rawness and the honesty of it with our audience. I mean, really,
we love you, Reg.
Yeah, thank you.
Quick history lesson right there.
That's a great history lesson.
You.
Reggie Jackson telling us all about it, preaching. Wow, that's unbelievable.
That was Kevin Burkhardt at the end, as you heard. He was on a panel with Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, David Ortiz, and Reggie. And to think that people that are still alive had to go through that just to play baseball is just a cold water bucket of a reminder that we still got ways to go here.
Yep.
And I thought Reggie was great. I thought
it was great. I don't think they knew what was coming.
Yeah. And
but he told the truth.
I've heard Hank Aaron tell similar stories.
Sure.
Willie Mays had similar stories, and Mays and Aaron were from Alabama.
Right.
They were, booted. A great way, if you want to teach young people about this, is to, and watch it with them, is to watch the movie 42.
Sure.
About Jackie Robinson. And there's a scene in that movie where they're playing in Cincinnati, and a dad stands up and starts yelling the N-word at Jackie. And they use the N-word in the movie.
Yes, they do.
And he starts yelling at him over and over again. Hey, N-word, get out of here. Hey, N-word, we don't want you here, blah, blah, blah. And he has a young kid with him, his son that's maybe 10. And you see the son watching his dad, and then the son stands up and starts mimicking and yelling all the things that the dad is. And it just goes to show you that, people aren't born racist.
No,
they have to be taught.
It's a learned behavior, yeah.
And I thought that was one of the highlights of that broadcast is Reggie's honesty. And as Kevin used the word raw, I thought it was great.
Yep.
And maybe people will now hold those players in the proper reverence that they should be held. Because
what they had to deal with, what they lived through, what they played through.
Right. All they were trying to do was play baseball.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen 42, go watch it.
Yeah,
it'll highlight a lot of things Reggie was talking about.
All right, coming up next for you, going to do some What's Up Fool. Bergman's got stuff. Brian's got stuff. Laura's got stuff. And we'll do it next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. Let me tell you about Jacob and Ronnie. So, weekends here. I'm sure you got big plans. You're going to drive over to meet your buddies, go to the desert or go down to San Diego or whatever it is, and bam, another car hits you. Bam. You get angry, you're frustrated, you ache. What should you do? You got to call my friend Jacob. Put this number in your phone. It's 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Not planning on being in an accident, but when it happens, you want to immediately call Jacob. He and his team are available 24/7. So matter the time or day, you can call Jacob from the scene of the accident and get all this stuff right. He and his team will walk you through the process. Getting photos of not just your car, but the other car, getting witness phone numbers, all kinds of tips that'll strengthen your case. So before heading out this weekend, make sure you put Jacob's number in your phone. When you call an attorney, you want one who is respected. Call Jacob. He is the real deal. 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Or remember...
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Call Jacob.com and make sure when you call him, tell him Mason and Shadano from 710 ESPN LA sent you. 710 ESPN, Mason and Ireland. Coming right back.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
And yes, it's around 2:45 in the Southland. You know what we do each weekday at 2:45. What's up, fool? And we've been very excited that What's Up, Fool is made possible by our friends at Dos Hombres. In fact, we've got a special guest voice. Take it away, guest voice.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
Okay, before we get to Corporate Greg, I just put on Twitter a post that includes a painting that I did and a painting that Laura Romo did.
Yep.
A or B, not going to tell you whose is who, but you can go and vote either A or B. I'm curious to see which way it comes out. They're both. I mean, I'm very impressed with Laura's. But
I'm impressed with yours.
We're not telling you who's who. So go vote on that. We'll find out at the end of the show. Bergman, take it away.
All right. So thanks, Mace. So
Yes.
Kelly Stafford was on the Off the Vine podcast. I'm not sure if that's her podcast or someone else's podcast, but she was on that. And she was talking about her and Matthew Stafford's time at Georgia. Georgia had a backup quarterback named Joe Cox. And listen to what Kelly Stafford did.
Okay. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like
That'll do it.
He was the bad boy too. Like Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. It's working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
All right.
So how do you
Interesting.
feel about Kelly Stafford? I mean, they're married, they have kids, and and everything's
And obviously
wonderful.
in love and
sure.
all that stuff. It all
How
worked
do
out
you
in the
feel
end.
about Kelly Stafford making Matthew jealous by dating his backup quarterback?
I think it was brilliant. I'm a big Kelly Stafford fan. I think that what she did was super smart, and I know
Did you ever do anything like that?
Two of my friends did.
Did they?
But what was interesting about that story was Matthew, as she calls him, got into her car and wouldn't get out.
Yep.
You better be sure that girl likes you.
Yeah, sure.
I had a friend of mine. It's a true story. He had a crush on this girl. They were going out, and he really liked her, but it wasn't. And he thought she liked him, and she goes, "I'm going out on a date." And my friend went over to her house, thinking she wasn't going to be there, was going to surprise her when she got back. And when she came back with the guy.
Right.
And my friend hid under the bed.
Wow.
And nothing happened. Thank God, nothing happened. But then the guy left home, and he came out from under the bed,
That's
and
very
I went,
stalkery.
Well, isn't getting in the car and not getting out a little bit that way too?
Well, but if it's a car, he's hiding under a bed. There's a difference between hiding in a car and hiding under a bed.
I as long as you know that the girl's into you, I think she made a really smart, savvy move. What do you think?
Well, you know what I take from this more than I've never had that situation where I went with somebody to try to make somebody else. I never did that particular thing. I understand it happens. The thing I love about this is people will tell any story on a podcast. like you will tell, if you listen to my podcast, there are personal stories like crazy that I would never say on the radio. And in this case, Kelly didn't say it on her own podcast. She said it on somebody else's podcast, and people are unbelievably candid. That's one of the cool things about podcasts. If I was Matthew, I'd be like, what are you airing this out for? What are you putting this out there for?
They're married and happy.
Yeah,
Everything came out good. What did you think, Greg?
Isn't that so much of what happens in movies, though? A guy, for your story, someone hiding underneath the bed and like people like jumping on the bed.
I know.
Not jumping, I guess, but they're like hitting the bed while you're underneath.
And by the way, my
It's
friend
such
is
a
now
movie.
married to that woman, and they have 4 kids.
The woman whose bed he was under?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's wild. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, look, if you're gonna play for me, if you're gonna play a game like that and you're gonna sleep with
is a good
my backup
question.
quarterback,
Toxica.
like I'm out.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
out.
wait a minute.
That's
Did
ridiculous.
Did she say she slept
She
with him?
did
She
not
said
say
she
she
dated
slept
him.
with him. She said
she
she dated him.
Okay.
Dated him.
Okay.
Come on, you're in
Let's
college.
be fair,
Whoa,
dated him.
Fair. She didn't say one way or the other what she actually did, but she dated somebody in college at Georgia. They were not just going to dinner.
I just don't know that. You may have.
might be a
You may have further insight than I do.
I don't
but
have.
I do not know.
I'm just
I do not
guessing.
know. But you're right, Bergman. What
Speculation.
you said, I think I agree with. I think
don't like the games.
You immediately cut somebody who's playing games.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're messing with. Screw you.
If you ever
There's so many
a thought. Then you're.
No, I think she played it perfect, Laura. What do you think?
I don't like it. Like, that's toxic traits. I don't have time. I mean, granted, they were young. They were in college. So I'll give them that little bit. But for me, if you got to play those kind of games, like, I don't want to deal with you, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of simple. It's kind of sneaky.
Yep.
It's kind of
Toxica.
sneaky. I don't think I like it.
What's up, fool? All right, guys, so the new Madden 25 early trailer has come out, and it caused a little stir online because the kickoff of the trailer is Justin Fields returning kickoffs in the new format.
Right. This is a big thing.
Right,
yeah.
so, there was a lot of talk about it when the rule changed, per se, and now people actually get to see it in, like, a video game, matter like that.
Right.
But if, let's say the Steelers actually do say, oh, let's branch out Justin Fields and put him to return kicks, does that mean his career as a quarterback is then over?
No.
No, cannot.
They used to do it with Cordell Stewart way back in the day. Cordell Stewart, they called him Slash. They brought him in and would line him up in the slot and run. And by the way, kickoffs now are going to be safer. It's not... they're going to be popping up balls, and there's going to be some fair catches, and it's the chances of you getting hurt on a kickoff are less now. I wouldn't hesitate to put Justin Fields
I wouldn't
back
hesitate either, but I think the Steelers have come out and said, no, we're not doing that.
Oh,
with
they
Justin
have?
Fields.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's an interesting idea. You do want a dynamic athlete returning kicks now, and you're right, they're not as dangerous now because of the new kickoff rules, which I will not even attempt to explain right now.
That New Orleans, Miami, wherever else he played, those guys all made a mistake by not letting Reggie Bush return more kicks. He returned some when he played for the Saints, but when he was at USC, nobody could tackle him. He was a great.
He's amazing.
And they said, well, we don't want to put him out there because he might get hurt. Yeah, he also might run it back. He might be the next Devin Hester.
Yeah.
I hope they do put Justin Fields back there.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got.
It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
What's up, fool?
All right, guys. So I saw this. It says that a diner, which is Norm's, is currently going to start offering alcohol services at certain locations, like beer, wine, mimosas, and micheladas.
And
now,
they haven't up until this point?
Not, yes.
Okay.
I know certain Denny's used to have this option. Some still do. But my question is, and something that was circulating online is, if you guys can have only one fast food joint to serve you alcohol, which one would it be?
Oh, it's easy for me. Popeyes.
Oh.
Popeyes is my favorite. I mean, I know we got to... Popeyes is my favorite fast food joint.
It's In-N-Out.
Yeah, I was saying.
Popeyes is I love their spicy chicken sandwich. I will sometimes eat 2 of them at a sitting. I love Popeyes. So, yeah, Popeyes with a liquor license, sign me up.
The fast food place I go the most is Chick-fil-A. But lately I've been mixing it up and going to El Pollo Loco.
I like El Pollo Loco. That's actually healthy.
I think that's where I would want the alcohol, is at El Pollo Loco, because they have... if you want tacos, you can get tacos. You want chicken, you can get chicken. You want guacamole, you can get guacamole. There's a lot of spicy stuff there. I think if you make me pick one, Laura, I'm going El Pollo Loco.
Okay. Brian?
I think I'd go Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, give me a little beer with my chicken sandwich.
Me and Greg are
Chick-fil-A,
solo
by
here.
the way, is the most efficient fast food I've ever seen.
And also Christian-owned and unlikely to be selling alcohol at any point.
Well, they're not even open on
They're not even open on Sundays.
Yeah, open on Sunday first. There we go.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
do you guys know, Mace, you went to the Super Bowl when it was in Atlanta.
Closed.
Chick-fil-A's were closed.
Chick-fil-A at the Super Bowl closed.
Huh. So they even
for the biggest game of the year, still closed.
There's a Chick-fil-A bowl. If it falls on a Sunday, no Chick-fil-A?
Correct. No Chick-fil-A.
Wow. They stick to their guns.
Got to be on a Saturday.
Yep.
All right, guys, as we know, summertime kicks off the fair season. And I saw earlier this week the San Diego Fair kicked off, and there was like a 2-hour wait to get in, which is just insane, right? How often would you say you go to a fair? Is it like a once every few years? You going every year for the new things, or you're not even going to go at all?
I have not been to a fair in a long time now. I'll tell you this. When I was growing up in Maumee, Ohio, we were a block away from where they had the Lucas County Fair, and I hung out there every single day for the entire fair, and at one point was the barker for now the unbelievably unpolitically correct. Would it be im or un? Im or un? Anyway, politically incorrect. Freak show. I was the guy that said, "Step right up, see the amazing," and I won't even tell you what it is. It's always the bearded lady.
Do you know what it actually was?
The fattest
You just
man
don't
in
wanna
the
say it?
world. I do know exactly what it is, and I'll tell you off the air, but it's
Why
really,
can't you say it on the air?
It's super mean.
Oh.
It's super mean, yeah. But anyway, I was the barker at
What's it
the
rhyme
freak
with?
show. I'll tell you off the air. I'll tell you off the air. Yeah, so I love a good fair, but I've not been to the L.A. County Fair, the Orange County Fair, the San Diego County Fair in a very long time.
I go to the North Idaho County Fair when we're in Idaho.
North Idaho!
It's pretty fun, actually. But I would never, Brian, you know this about me, I would never wait 2 hours for anything.
Yeah, it's insane.
I wouldn't wait 2 hours to go to Nobu. If you tell me 2 hours, you don't want me to go to something, tell me there's a 2 hour wait, I'm out. Not doing it. All right, is that it?
If you guys want one more, I can do it, but if not...
Yeah, what the hell, it's Friday.
All right, so the Argentina players slammed Copa America field after winning over Canada because they were saying that usually the Mercedes-Benz is a turf, right? So it's artificial. It's not real grass.
Yep.
But I just recently found out, I didn't even know, that Messi has it in his contract that he cannot play on turf. It has to be real grass.
I've heard that.
So they were saying that, the grass wasn't done correctly. There was a lot of things wrong with it. So my thing is, that's a huge flex because they have to completely redo just one place for him to go play. What would be your big flex if you can put it in your contract? Or you might have it already.
That's a good question. If I could add anything to my contract, and we're, for the sake of this exercise, they're not saying no.
Yeah, we'll go no. Yeah.
What would I put in? And it's not money, right? It's a perk.
It could be whatever. It could be
that's
whatever.
too obvious.
It's
Money.
a big, it's
sure,
a big.
pay me more is...
Because, you really did a whole entire field, redid it just for him to play there. That's wild.
Yeah. I know what mine is. So I have a flex, which is 7 weeks of vacation.
That is a good flex.
And my stretch goal is 8 weeks.
Hint, hint, Greg. Hint, hint. Hint, hint.
No. We'll find out next June.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's see what your answer is then. Mine would be, as I've talked about before a lot, my problem is I have trouble having a life away from work because I'm always working between this and the Laker job.
Right.
So I would put something is that you can't bring me in for anything else other than show days. Like, for example, the Mandy's is on Saturday. So I would be exempt from the Mandy's because it was on a Saturday. But last year it was on a Friday. So everything worked fine.
No, it was on a Saturday last year.
No, was it? It was a Friday.
The first one.
year was a Friday. Last year was a Saturday. This year's a Saturday.
Yeah.
But the first year,
so that
it was a
would
Friday.
be mine. I would say you can only require me to show up on show days, and that way it would help me have a life away from work.
You guys are so simple. Mine would be, give me a damn PJ.
Oh,
private
you want
jet.
I want a
private
jet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting that.
Listen.
To your
I've
house?
never even been
No,
on a private jet.
I want to go because if you got it like that on a contract, right? Like we're talking about Messi, we're talking about you guys. You guys got it like that. So my thing is, you guys didn't go. I went extravagant. I was like,
You know
I
who
want a
has that
PJ.
in his contract, Laura? Shohei.
Yes.
He's got a certain amount of trips back to Japan on the Guggenheim jet. I think it's like 6 to 12. And that's a good deal for both sides.
Yeah, because I'm like, listen, like if I have it like that and I'm someone that big, then I have vacation time where I can use a damn PJ somewhere.
But
you
if
know?
you're you that's here at ESPN LA, where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going to fly?
Well, clearly I don't have the pull here, but I'm saying if I was someone big
if
enough.
you were somewhere else.
Yeah.
You would want,
Not here.
Like Shadano's gotten his, I think Shadano's gotten his deal, always flies first class.
Well,
I think that's in his
that's
deal,
with
right?
TV. If
Yeah,
he does.
but I think
But
that's what it is.
most on-air people at ESPN have that in their deal.
Yeah.
It's called the business class or better.
Business
is the
class or
clause.
better.
So if they have business class available, you get put in business class, but they can't put you back to coach.
Got it.
They're going to put you in. But George will tell you. I don't know if he's coming in today or not, but he would tell you that that's not always an option that's available to him. Like he has to take whatever flight gets him to the next city on time. So he can have it in his deal, but he has to. I mean, it takes priority that he's got to get to the next city. And he's like me. He's trying to have a life away from work because he's like me. He's working 2 jobs. And so if it's a matter of getting home to see his kids or flying first class, like Michael would wait and go the next day and wait for a first class seat. George, I think, would just get on the plane.
Right.
So and get home.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think that's what he would say.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of second jobs, the Culture Pop podcast today came out. Michael Chiklis is on the show.
Boy, you got to tell Jeff Katz. The Shield is Jeff Katz's favorite show of all time.
And the creator of Girls 5 Eva, that's going to be nominated for an Emmy in a couple of weeks.
Wait a minute. Who created Girls 5 Ever?
Meredith Scardino.
Oh, I was going to say Michael Chiklis created Girls 5
Oh,
Ever.
yeah,
That's a really good show.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, Tina Fey had something to do with it,
Tina
too.
Fey
right?
was in on that. She worked with Tina Fey and Robert Carlock for a while.
There's a good singer, a successful singer that's in the cast.
Renee Elise Goldsberry and Sarah Bareilles.
Sarah Bareilles, yeah.
It's a really fun. You'd like it. It's breezy, 6 episodes.
Sarah Bareilles is talented. She
did that Broadway musical Waitress.
Yeah, she's got a hit on Broadway. She's got hit songs. She's got she might get an EGOT one day.
She very well could. And so go to the Culture Pop Podcast channel on YouTube. You can watch it there. You can download on Spotify and Apple. All right, coming up next for you.
Did you see what John Calipari said about what the Lakers should do?
It's interesting. We'll do that. Plus, can you play golf when you are absolutely hammered? I've got an example for you.
Okay.
Coming up. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here.
Nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
across the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go!
Go Kings, go!
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go!
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go! Go Kings, go! Go Kings, go!
The biggest show on the radio, Mason in Ireland, is on for your Friday afternoon.
What is with you? You're just weird.
How's that?
What is with you in this jacuzzi thing?
Here we go, Friday on Mandy's Friday, 1 day away from the biggest party 710 throws all year tomorrow night at the Commerce Casino, Mandy's 3. The questions remain. Will Steve Mason finally win Host of the Year? Will Mason and Ireland pull off another Show of the Year award? We know John Ireland's usually a lock for most knowledgeable, but how about Bit of the Year? All those answers tomorrow. By the way, don't forget the Red Carpet Show with Corporate Craig and the Big CY Quentin Yates starts at 4:30 p.m. at ESPN Los Angeles. And all the coverage all night long. If you're not going to be at the show, we've got it covered on our social channels.
So you put your thing in a pouch, and when you walk out of the theater, they unzip the pouch for you. You can't do it by yourself.
Oh, yeah, we got another major announcement. New lineup starting this fall. Mason and Ireland back in your lunch hour. Keep listening for more details. Let's get to it. Celebrating their 20th year on the air at ESPN Los Angeles. The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. Your Friday afternoon right now.
It's the 3 o'clock hour. It is the day before the Mandy Awards. So I put those two paintings online there, Laura. Have you been looking at the results? A painting that I did, a painting that you did.
Yeah.
Right now, at last check,
is one way ahead of the other?
Yeah.
It's not a total wipeout though.
I mean, if I count, I think it is.
I see it as 23-19.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't count that good then.
Yeah. I think it's in the ballpark. Go check it out. I'll
Well,
tell you.
Mason is not good with math. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 3 versus something like 19. You know what I didn't do today? What I totally forgot?
It's Friday.
Oh, darn. I'm sorry.
Let's go. All right. So, Ireland, I'm going to ask you about your golf game.
Yeah.
So
I certainly play a lot. I
Right.
should be way better.
And you have told me often that you have played with guys at some point in your life that are stoned.
Still do.
Still do.
Yeah. You know some of them.
So there's a challenge going around. There is a challenge called the 500 milligram edible challenge.
Okay.
You take 500 milligrams of cannabis via gummy.
Okay.
And then you play a round of golf.
Okay.
Now, how much cannabis do you take?
20 milligrams.
20 milligrams a night.
Yeah.
I rarely go over 20 milligrams a night. Brian, what's...
And the gummy form, 10, 20 milligrams.
10, 20 milligrams, yeah. 500 milligrams. You have got to be
now
flat on your back at that point.
I would be unable to hit the ball at all.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be completely useless. But I play with some guys that are, for lack of a better term, functioning stoners.
Sure.
Stoned all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
24/7.
And they're great players.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. I couldn't even drive home if I did as much weed as these guys do.
No, that's I'm not a drive when you're stoned guy.
I just couldn't do it.
But 500 Bergman, 500 milligrams is like that'll
ridiculous.
take down a cow.
That is a huge amount of marijuana.
Yeah. The other challenge that is going around is the 9-hole 9 pre-roll challenge. So you smoke a pre-roll before each hole for 9 holes.
I could do this one.
You could do that one?
I could do this one.
There's enough time in between.
Right. You're walking, too.
You
right?
are walking. Yeah.
You're outside.
What about that, Ireland?
No chance.
9-hole pre-roll challenge.
And I don't smoke ever. So
right, you're not a smoker.
I'm a gummy guy.
I got a little vapey lately. I've been hitting the
very
vape a little
nice.
bit, along with the gummies. I got plenty on my side. All right, so Ireland, you were talking about John Calipari, who appeared on the Jim Rome show.
Okay, so everybody is suggesting what J.J. Redick should do now that he has the Laker job.
Yes.
And Jim Rome show has moved to Twitter. He's full-time on Twitter
Is
now.
that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And John Calipari was a guest on there, and he has an idea for J.J. Redick, and it involves using Anthony Davis differently than the Lakers have used him in the past. Here's Coach Cal.
An unbelievable teammate who will step back so others can step up. He did it for me when I coached. When he was at Kentucky, he stepped back so other guys could step up. You ready for this? Until it was time to win the national title. And then he went on a tear, and it was his show. I would like him to be the center of attention because I think he's a Hall of Fame, future Hall of Famer. I do. All that he's done. When he went with the Pelicans, he led them to the playoffs, and that wasn't enough for him. Like, he wants to win championships. They lose. The kid, the last game when they're done, he's not a happy camper.
Yeah.
I actually agree with him. I would like to see AD be more used in the fourth quarter.
Sure. Well, nobody quite knows why he fades away a lot of the time late in games.
Apparently, that was part of J.J. Redick's presentation when he's talking to Lakers. He said, you guys have to use AD differently, and here's how I would use him.
Right.
And they liked what they heard because they hired him.
Yeah, I mean, specifically, there are reports that they liked the way that he sort of planned for AD.
Sure. Just real question. Why did all of these other coaches not do that?
Well, you could
Why
say,
were they going away from AD in the fourth quarter consistently?
Well, part of it
was obvious.
But part of it is situational. In other words, where do you give AD rest? Darvin rested him at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And so he would supposedly be fresh for the end. But then what would happen is he'd come back out and he wouldn't re-engage or he wouldn't get the ball or, whatever. I personally, I say this to Michael at least 3 times a week. I'll say something like this. If Anthony Davis doesn't touch the ball on this possession, I would take the guards out. Anybody who shoots a ball without AD touching it first is out.
Right.
And I'll see a guy dribble down, put a move on a guy and shoot a three-pointer, and AD will run down, and he'll run back, and I'll look at Michael, and Michael goes, I can't figure out what they're doing.
But isn't there such a thing as demanding the ball?
Right, yeah, but you got to
Demand
remember,
the ball.
he doesn't bring the ball up. Somebody has to give it to him. And what happens is, that's why he loved Rondo so much.
Right.
Because Rondo would get him the ball in spots where he could do his best work.
Right, but to Bergman's point, why did
Vogel.
Darvin Ham never put this together?
Vogel didn't
oh
put it
my
together.
God, AD
Well,
just disappears in the fourth quarter thing.
Remember with Vogel, they had twin towers. So AD was the 4, and he either had Dwight Howard or JaVale
which
McGee
is
out
great.
there with him. That's the other thing I think JJ should lobby for. Go get Jonas Valanciunas or a reasonable facsimile so AD can be the 4.
So you keep saying it, and I agree with you. This is exactly what they should do. But it's obvious to you, John. It's obvious to Mace, me, Laura, Brian, everybody. Every fan knew, get AD the ball in the fourth quarter. And yet every single coach did not make that the play to go to in the fourth quarter.
Right, and I
can tell you how many times, I don't know, seamless amount of times that I went to Basketball Reference, looked at the fourth quarter, he had 0 shots.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. And
Right.
that's why I think you need to be very clear with your ball handlers. Look, if we throw Anthony Davis the ball and he kicks it right back out to you, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you go down the court and don't even get him a touch, like he never touches the ball, and I would include LeBron in this. If we go down the court, LeBron, and you're bringing, because LeBron a lot of times was the ball handler in the fourth quarter, throw the ball to AD because he's a good passer. If they don't double team him, he scores almost every time. But to your point, Greg, if he's not getting any shot attempts, that's a failure of coaching.
It'll be like he'll have like 35 points, 24 rebounds in the first 3 quarters, and nothing in the fourth.
I can never understand. There's 2 things that I don't understand about NBA coaches. One is, and this happens a lot too, player comes down and hits 5 of 6 shots in the first quarter.
Pull him.
And they take him out because, quote unquote, it's his time to come out.
Yep.
The first thing Michael ever taught me, you don't get tired when you're hot. When you're hot, you got to ride it like you're at a blackjack table in Vegas. Don't leave that table as long as you're winning. Leave that guy in there, and if he starts missing, then you can take him out. But don't stick to these preset rotations. They don't mean anything. And secondly, in the fourth quarter, if he doesn't get a touch, you're coming out. Not him. You are coming out of the game because you wouldn't give him the ball.
Okay, so let me read. I'm going to read something from our friend Dave Miller.
Okay.
He just texted, and I think he makes a good point. He says the inability of Anthony Davis to get the ball in the fourth quarter was coaching and his lack of killer instinct. He doesn't demand the ball because it's not in his demeanor. That's what a pit bull does. Is that fair to say? Because he is not an alpha, Anthony Davis. I think that's one of the reasons why he doesn't demand the ball in the fourth quarter.
I'll disagree. I'll half agree with Dave. I think coaching had a lot to do with it.
Yep.
The fact that AD isn't an alpha, I think when AD gets the ball, good things happen.
Okay.
But when he doesn't get the ball, I mean, you remember, what did he say, Greg, at the end of one of those games that they lost in Denver? He said, I don't know what we're doing here.
Right.
He said, we don't know what we're doing on either side of the floor.
And
that was a bad sign for Darvin, by the way.
Might have been a problem.
LeBron is not a good passer. He's an elite passer.
Sure.
I mean, he'll get you the ball, but the coach has to say to the other 4 guys that are out there, if AD doesn't get a touch, I'm taking you out.
But you said it at one point, too, that LeBron is part of that problem, that LeBron was not getting him the ball in the fourth quarter, because it's obvious, too, because if LeBron is bringing the ball up the court, especially in the fourth quarter, and Anthony Davis doesn't touch the ball, how much is that on LeBron not getting it into Anthony Davis?
LeBron isn't as guilty of this as other players are.
Sure, but he's still guilty of it.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
see what JJ does.
Yeah, I think JJ is smart enough to know that, and by the way, just touching the ball makes the defense adjust.
Yeah.
Watch Denver. Jokic touches the ball on every offensive possession.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Well, he's also a great facilitator.
A lot
he's
of times
a brilliant
he passes
passer.
it.
Yeah, he's a brilliant passer.
But you have to deal with him because he's going to touch the ball every time down. By the way, let me throw this out there. You guys know that KCP can become a free agent. He can opt out of his deal.
I love KCP.
I would bring him back. I didn't want him to go.
Return of manna from heaven.
Well, you know they like him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's
and
a great
player.
He's a good defender. He's a good
deliver
shooter.
A crushing blow to the Nuggets.
That's right, and you're stealing him.
So keep that on the back burner while we're talking about plans.
Huge fan there. All right, coming up next for you, imagine getting a voicemail from the late, great Vin Scully.
Huh?
Joe Davis doesn't have to imagine it. I got that coming up next for you. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
A fun way to drive.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. This is Mason in Ireland on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
All right, little nugget to pass along here. This is Shams Charania. The Lakers could, is what he says, could circle back to DeJounte Murray. They have to be aggressive, and I think DeJounte Murray will come up in trade conversations.
Would you rather have DeJounte Murray or Trae Young?
DeJounte Murray plays defense.
That's a super easy question.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray's a two-way
Trae
player.
Young's better offensively.
I know, but DeJounte Murray's a two-way player, and that's still half the game. I would. Are you not in agreement?
Would you prefer Trae Young?
Look up the threes from last year.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to go over that. Like, he shoots from
but
all over the floor.
We need threes, and JJ Redick knows it.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about it? You mentioned threes, and JJ Redick, obviously, that was his game. Did you realize that the Boston Celtics took more and made more threes than any team in the league?
Yeah.
That was
and
their
JJ
game.
pointed that out a lot on TV.
Yeah. So, I think maybe he'll value Trae Young differently, but I mean, DeJounte Murray is a two-way player, and I think that counts.
So what do you think the biggest thing the Lakers need to do? Is it because there's two things, I think. You need a big so you can push like a Jonas Valanciunas, and need three-pointing. Which, if you could only get one of those two things, which is more important this season?
What are the two?
A big, like Jonas Valanciunas or something along those lines to push AD to the 4, or like two really good three-point shooters.
Two really good three-point shooters.
Boy, it's hard, Greg, because you need both.
I think I'm the other way. I think I'm getting the big and pushing Anthony Davis.
By the way,
out.
there are other big. Aside from Valanciunas, we went through a list the other day. There are some other guys on that list.
Sure,
it doesn't have to be Valanciunas.
It doesn't have to be Valanciunas, but it can't be guys like Jackson Hayes, and it can't be guys like Wenyen Gabriel that are these teeny little sticks that get bullied around by everybody.
Yes.
In last season, DeJounte Murray from 3 shot 36%.
Okay.
He's a 34% career three-point shooter, which isn't terrible. Trae Young, who takes more threes than DeJounte Murray, and as Greg mentioned, shoots from all over the place, is about the same percentage-wise. 37% last year.
For Trae?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good enough for him.
And 35 career.
So
yeah, I don't want that guy.
In the ballpark of he takes more, but again, defense is half the game, and DeJounte Murray plays defense.
He's not regarded as
He's
an
not
elite
an elite defender but
anymore.
He's not a minus defender.
I think he made all defense as a rookie when he played in San Antonio. So you're right. You would get more defense. I'd actually be comfortable with either one of them. But you need JJ's going to want to shoot more threes. So you need to ask that question whenever they're picking somebody up.
I just feel like
that's
Trae
why
Young,
I thought Caruso would have been really great to
He
bring
would
back.
have been unbelievable.
Caruso shot 41%.
Would have been an
from three.
unbelievably popular move.
I just feels like with Trae Young, if he's going to shoot 37% or 35% for his career, with the amount that he takes and how important it is, I don't think that that's the right guy for this team. You need a guy that's going to be shooting 39 to 41%, somewhere in that range, so basically 40%. But like, if for someone that's taking that high of a volume, no, it's too many misses.
Okay.
Boston.
So
that's right. I agree.
Joe Davis, the voice of the Dodgers, and
Joe did that game in Birmingham.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Great broadcaster. He told a story about getting a voicemail from Vin Scully.
Oh, yeah, we was on Rich Eisen's show. I saw this.
And he actually plays the voicemail. This is Rich with Joe Davis.
Here we go. Joe Davis is about to play the voicemail he got from Vin Scully. Welcome into the Dodgers right here.
Oh,
okay.
I've never shared this.
I appreciate, by the way, in advance, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah. No.
Okay, here we go.
Scully in Los Angeles. I tried to get you earlier in the day, so I start off the year 0 for 2. But I was calling just to welcome you to the family, to wish you great success, and I know you will love the ball club and the way they treat people. I look forward to seeing you somewhere along the line, although I doubt if it'll be on the road. Anyway, good luck. I'll see you, I'm sure, soon, and I'll be thrilled to wish you all the best wishes possible. I know what it was like to be 27, 28 and starting out with a big club, and I know it'll be a great marriage. So congratulations, and look forward to seeing you.
How cool is that?
And how smart is Joe to save it?
Yeah.
Ramona tells a story that she had a voicemail from John Wooden that she saved on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only place she saved it.
Yeah.
And then the phone, fell in the ocean or
Yeah, right.
something happened to the phone,
Broke
and now she doesn't have it anymore. I wish I would have saved some voicemails from my dad. You saved one from your dad,
I've got one
right?
from my dad. Yeah, I've got from the last day
so
my
I
dad
could
was
just
alive.
listen to my dad's voice when I wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I screwed that up.
So I think the painting thing is settled once and for all.
Who won?
There's a tweet that went out that had 2 paintings on it. One was painted by me. One was painted by Laura Romo. It was not a total and complete walkover,
No, I think it was pretty even, actually.
but Laura is the winner.
By
She
slight.
painted the one with the teapot, and people love that. And by the way, I think it's really, really good.
What?
I loved yours, too.
Yeah, what was the final vote total? Do you have it?
We're something in the range. Let me see. I had a count a second ago. It's not a poll. I've got 46-27, Laura.
Yeah, that's a respectable
I think
loss.
I'll take a 46-27 loss. That's not bad.
And a lot of people actually couldn't pick and said both.
Yeah.
A lot of people couldn't pick, yeah.
So yeah, that's my that hangs in my house. You would
In your grand hallway?
Would you like in my grand hall? Would you buy a print of it for your new house in Idaho? Would you not want a print of that?
Sure, why not? It'd be a conversation piece.
Original Steve Mason.
An original
And it would
Mason.
actually fit into that house.
Would it?
Yeah, it would go. I'll show you some pictures of some other stuff that's up there. But
Really?
I was sending pictures of the house to Geeter the other day.
Oh, really?
And let me see if I can. We have one big picture. Lisa would be very mad at me if I replaced this picture.
Okay.
By the way, congrats to Geeter's daughter, Millie.
Yeah.
She's like the #1 youth volleyball player in California. She's going to USC.
In the jeans.
Yeah, okay, so here's the picture that's at the end of the hallway. That's not that different than yours.
Oh my God. It would be
If I replaced this with yours and didn't tell Lisa, what would be the repercussion?
She would say, "Thank you for
And
finding."
this, by the way, Mace, this is a grand hallway. That's the hallway.
You do have a grand hallway. I don't got one. You got a grand hallway.
That's what she would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, what do you want to play it again, Laura?
You monster.
Now, I honestly believe that should win Bit of the Year.
You know what?
tomorrow
I got to
night.
tell you, I'm
If
glad
it
you brought this
doesn't,
up.
That will be I really don't care about the Mandys as much as you and Cappy do, but that was the Bit of the Year.
Yeah. By the way, the perspective is I care about them because all of our most loyal listeners are there, and I like mixing it up with them.
same.
But I will say this: they do a lot of bits that are great, right? Like eating a hot dog and all that kind of stuff is great, but this played really well on
here's
the radio.
Here's the bit
and
that
that's
we
what
did.
we do.
Mason came up with an idea of. He said, "Do you ever write love letters to your wife?"
It was Valentine's
and
Day.
I said, "I haven't in a while, but yeah, I wouldn't be completely out of the blue." And he said, "Well, it's Valentine's Day. Would you be willing to send her a Valentine's Day message with a twist?" And I said, "What's the twist?" He goes, "I'm going to have Chat GPT write it." So we wrote. Mason put in what would be an appropriate Valentine's Day message for your wife of 20 years, and I verbatim copied it into an email and sent it to Lisa, and she sent me back this heartfelt thank you.
She responded, I
And-
love you. You're
and
my
we
life,"
brought her on
and-
the air. She didn't know any of this.
Nope.
We brought her on the air. I read what I wrote to her, which was Mason's Chat GPT.
Yep.
And then what she wrote to me, which was really sweet. And she,
Oh, it
and she was
was.
like, "Are we really sharing this on the air with people?" I go, yeah, you'll see why in a minute. She's like, "Okay." So I read her response, and then we hit her with, "My love letter to you was written by Chat GPT," and this was her response.
You monster.
You monster.
And I thought that was honest.
Yes.
It was heartfelt. It was very creative for you to come
Yeah.
up with the bit. That should be Bit
Now,
of the
do
Year.
you-
Now, we should have done this whole spiel when people could still vote.
Right. Now, I think
We
that-
didn't, though.
I think the Glizzy thing will probably win where they ate a hot dog, right?
Yeah, that's probably way up there. Actually, I agree. I think this was the best bit that we
It
did.
played so good on the air.
Right,
Yeah.
but
And you get an amazing
I think
drop out of it.
As Shaq taught me from back in the All-Star game, it depends whose people are voting, and the Circle of Trolls votes a lot.
Trust.
God.
Circle of
Well, you guys are all scared of
Trust.
them. I don't care.
I'm not
I'm not
scared
scared.
of them.
They
They're
love
friends
me.
of mine.
Yeah, we're all friends.
They're
like
they're
them.
like the most
They're not
loyal
trolls.
people out there.
I think that's why the Glizzy's going to win.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Glizzy is probably going to win.
It has a really good chance.
Really good chance. Yeah, really good chance. All right, coming up next for you, Ireland. It's that thing I wanted to get to all day long. You know what it is?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about time.
It's that
I've been
thing.
waiting for you to get to it.
Yeah, you know what it is? You know what it is?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's electrifying.
That's coming up next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Let me talk about Southern California Toyota dealers. The Lakers and Toyota have been in business together for 48 years. Why? Championship mindset. Always been associated with Toyota and the Southern California Toyota dealers. Year after year, Toyota delivers quality, reliability, and simply the best vehicles on the road. Right now, brand new inventory waiting for you. Choose from an amazing selection of cars, trucks, crossovers, SUVs, and EVs. Great deals waiting for you now. All you got to do is see your Southern California Toyota dealers or visit Toyota.com. Toyota, we make it easy.
There's nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to.
Across the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go.
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go.
Ireland on 710 ESPN, the OGs of LA Sports Radio. We're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
So, you know what I'm not doing for the first time in a week tonight?
You're not working out?
I'm not working out. I'm taking the night off.
Well, you're not going to work out in Hawaii, right?
No, I am going to work out in Hawaii.
You are?
In fact, we made sure there's a gym there. I am going to bust my ass over there. I'm serious about
The
this
gyms in
thing.
Hawaii are fun because they always have a view of the ocean.
Always a great view. Exactly right. So I came across. Sometimes I flip around in the afternoon, and when we went to commercials yesterday with Shinano and Cap, I turned on KFI and heard Tim Conway Jr. and they were playing this song. I have never heard this. Does anybody know the song? What's this called? Hot Girl Problems by Double Take.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Nope.
Good.
Never even heard of them.
Okay.
Right.
So listen to the lyrics. It's from, to the best of my knowledge, 12 years ago. Listen, you'll like this, John.
Hot girls, we have problems too. We're just like you, except we're hot. The world needs to open their eyes.
I'm glad I never heard
and
this.
realize we're not perfect and sometimes we lie. I got the look, I got the butt, but those things don't make me a boys call me stuck up, girls say I'm conceited. On behalf of all hot girls, those comments aren't needed. Just 'cause I'm pretty, I have to be dumb. I don't care about wits, I just wanna have fun. People start rumors and say things about me. Funny thing is, I didn't go to the party. Hot girls, we have
They have problems too.
Really?
Yeah. There you have it.
Yeah, that reminds me of there's a girl on Instagram refers to herself simply as Manhattan Beach Mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go
I don't
to
know
her
if
account.
this will be as funny as it is when you can see it, but here was her latest entry.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on, let me see. No, I couldn't get.
Can't do it?
Yeah, I can't do it. But let me try one more time. Okay.
Hi, this is Deborah. But if you know me from the 90s, it's Debbie. Sorry, I've had one glass of Chardonnay. So cute, right? I won this Hammett bag at the wine auction. Sister's having a huge party at Chileno Bay. She's redoing her vows. It's a white party. You have to come. I really want to glow. I'm going to go talk to the mayor about putting in an air wand. Kids needed a cultural experience, so I took them to Hermosa Beach. I'm sending Maggie to Deer Valley for ski lessons every weekend, but American Martyrs won't give her PE credit for that. And I'm not donating to them until they do. I love the 900 Club, but there's no golf cart valet. Hopefully I see Vince Vaughn with this shimmer. The Tesla is in charge, so I'm going to use this to run to Aviator Nation real quick. The home gym, I really only go to workout classes at Barry's and Soho Yoga. Yeah, I'm from Hoboken, but I'm never moving back. I either drink out of this or hi-fi coffee because I don't put my lips to plastic. Does Jupiter count as plastic? But let me email Skin Savvy right now because I need to see my injector before mom prom. Annie met her last two sugar daddies at Arthur J. Oh, my hair is a disaster. I need to go to the e-spa. We did hire Michael Phelps to train Hudson to be a junior lifeguard, but I still had to show up looking radiant as ever for him to qualify. Tim was so stressed this morning he couldn't find a shell backpack. Are you guys going to YC for ski week? Hi! Did you like that sourdough starter? Hi, honey. Can you attach the golf cart to our G-Wagon? All these years I spent flirting with athletes and I just end up with a guy in PE.
So these are the problems of a mom in Manhattan Beach.
And fairly accurate, by the way.
A cultural experience. They went to Hermosa Beach.
Right. And they hired Michael Phelps to train their kid to be a junior lifeguard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. All right.
So Bergman, it's your game, right?
Actually, it
yeah.
ended up being Laura's game.
You punt the game more than anyone.
It wasn't meant to be punted.
You're a punter.
We got into our meeting with Mason, and Laura goes, "It's your game today, right?" And I was like, "Oh no!" And
You're the only one who forgets to do a game.
I do. I forgot
What's
to.
wrong with you?
Do you want to take a point away? You can.
No, I don't think.
I don't care.
No, what's the score?
I have
He
2.
got the pens.
Ireland has 5.
I'm running
It's worth
away with
2.
it.
Oh, it's
But
not
next-
Ireland.
All next week is worth 2.
Next week's worth 2. So everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But because I mailed it in, you can take a point away from me. That was the rule. I will happily take it.
What do you think, Ireland?
I don't know. Laura, is the game hard?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we'll decide.
No, he can play.
You can play. You can play.
I was going to take a point away.
Come on, take a point away.
Brian's
doing it.
Brian.
I want the edge.
You're going to regret this.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Take the point away.
Point's
Brian,
gone.
It's
gone.
Brian's call.
There
All right,
we go.
coming up next for you, we will do Game of Games. Greg Bergman, 1 point less
Yeah,
than he
Mario
started the day with.
-1.
We'll do it coming up next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Starting Monday, September. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com. Call Jacob. Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle. Call Jacob. Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time, and it was going to be Bergman's game. Bergman flakes, so it's Laura's game. Laura, what do you got?
And I took away a point.
You lost a point.
I lost a game.
Yeah.
A game, a whole game. Okay.
Yeah.
Whole game.
Yeah, that's a good punishment.
All right, guys. So we are at the eve of Mandy's 3.
Yes.
It's an award show, so I did a game of games about award shows.
Okay.
All right. Which award show is known
By
as...
the way, both Ireland and I watch most of the award shows,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Just
figured
about all.
you guys-
We even watch the Tonys.
You
I
guys,
like the Tonys.
I think the Tonys are great.
you guys will have an advantage for sure.
Okay.
Which award show is known as the Oscars of the East? Grammy Awards, Caesar Awards, or the Asian Film Awards?
Brian.
What was the second option?
Caesar Awards.
Let's go Caesar Awards.
Greg.
The Asian, what was it?
Asian Film Awards?
Asian Film Awards in the East.
Mace.
Asian Film Awards.
I've never heard of that. Yeah, Asian film. I'm going Asian Film Awards.
It is the Asian Film Awards.
Yeah, I've never heard of those other
The
ones.
Césars are for France.
Okay.
France's Oscars.
All right, everybody but Brian is on the board.
All right. In which year did the MTV Video Music Awards, the VMAs, first take place? Was it 1984, 1983, or 1986?
Greg.
So I want to go 1986.
Mace.
86.
I'll go 86, Brian.
Let's roll 84.
Oh, none of you guys got it. 1983.
83.
Oh, wow, everybody missed.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. All right, let's go. Which film won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival in 2020? Was it Wife of a Spy, The World to Come, or The Disciple?
Mace.
The Disciple.
Why not? The Disciple. Brian.
The Disciple.
Greg.
The World to Come.
Why? They had it. Come on. He watches everything.
I don't know.
Disciple.
I want to be different.
All right, Brian's on the board. Mason and I have 2 each.
All right. Who has hosted the Academy Awards, Oscars, the most times? Is it Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, or Bob Hope?
Ireland.
Right.
He was thinking.
I'll go Bob Hope. Brian.
Give me Billy Crystal.
Greg.
Give me Billy Crystal.
Mace.
Give me Bob Hope.
It is Bob Hope.
Yeah.
Oh.
He did it
for like
forever.
25 years or
Yeah,
something.
for a
Billy
long
All right,
time.
Mason
and
and
Whoopi
Ireland with
Goldberg,
3
like,
each.
overtook them.
Brian and Greg 1 each.
Yeah, I think Billy probably did it 6 or 7 times,
At
but
least,
Bob Hope did
yeah.
it like year after year.
Who
for
was
a
it? It
while.
was Billy Crystal,
Whoopi.
Whoopi Goldberg, and one other person.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal, and Robin Williams
Yes.
hosted the laugh the
No,
comedy
it wasn't Robin Williams.
special.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think Billy's probably second.
Yeah,
but Bob
Billy's
Hope's
probably done it.
clear number
Johnny
1.
Carson did it a bunch too.
Yeah. All right, Laura, what do you got?
All right. Which film won? Yes. Okay. Yes, I am on the right one. Which film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 2021? Was it Parasite, The Father, or Nomadland?
Brian.
Parasite.
Greg.
Parasite.
Mace.
Parasite.
It's unanimous. Parasite.
Nomadland.
Oh man,
What was it?
2021 was
Parasite.
Nomadland.
Parasite must have won a different year.
What?
The
Wait
year
a minute.
before.
What was
The year
the winner?
before.
Nomadland. I don't even remember. I
Nomadland.
don't
It
even
was
remember
Frances
that
McDormand.
winning.
Yeah, she was
And
a
I have
homeless
to,
woman.
I
yeah.
have to give a shout out to Emily because she said you have it too easy. They're gonna say it's Nomadland if you don't change it, and she put in Parasite.
There you go.
She was right.
Yep, Parasite.
It
We
got
knew
all
one.
of you guys. Got all of you.
I heard Parasite. I'm like, yep, that one.
Laura, how many are left?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Okay.
7.
Okay. You got a bunch
Good.
of. Go ahead.
All right. Which artist won the most MTV Video Music Awards in history? Beyonce, Madonna, or Taylor Swift?
Greg.
Madonna.
Mace.
Madonna.
I think Madonna's the only one who like did videos. Yeah, Madonna for me, Brian.
I like Madonna as well.
It is Madonna.
Yeah, that
Good
one.
job.
That one was kind of
Her video, every one of her videos was a big deal back in the day.
All right.
Mason and Ireland 4 each. Brian and Greg 2 each.
All right. Think wording here, okay?
Okay.
In which year did the MTV Video Music Awards introduce the Moon Person Trophy? Was it in 1992, 2015, or 2017?
Mace.
92.
I also think 92. Those other ones are way too recent. Brian.
Yeah, 92.
Greg.
Yeah, 92.
I said wording, people. It was a Moon Man before. It is the Moon Person Trophy now, and it was in 2017.
Oh, that's a technicality.
I told you. I did say pay attention to the wording, okay?
Keep going.
Keep
All right.
going.
Who was the first
Friday?
All right.
Who was the first host of the Academy Awards Oscars televised ceremony? Was it Bob Hope, Jerry Lewis, or Johnny Carson?
Mace.
I think that's going to be Bob Hope.
It could only be Bob Hope. Brian.
Yeah, Bob Hope.
Greg.
Give me Johnny Carson.
Yeah, Greg. It's
Hey,
Johnny
look
Carson.
at that.
Johnny Carson hosted the first televised Oscars?
Televised ceremony, yeah.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know that. All right, Greg's got 3. Mason, Ireland, 4 each. Brian's got 2.
All right. Which TV series holds the record for the most Emmy wins in a single year? Was it Game of Thrones, The West Wing, or Saturday Night Live?
Okay.
This one's me. In a single year.
Mhm.
I know Saturday Night Live has won way more than anybody else, but I'm going to go Game of Thrones. Brian.
Give me Game of Thrones, too.
Greg.
Yeah, I would think Game of Thrones.
Mace.
All those technical awards. I think it's Game of Thrones.
It is Game of Thrones. I wanted The West Wing to throw you off. And also, I did have people check this game, but you guys are more than welcome to.
All right, how many are left?
1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
Okay. Mason, we'll tag team going first here.
Actually, yeah, 4. At which venue are the MTV Video Music Awards typically held? Is it the Radio City Music Hall, Madison Square Garden, Microsoft/Peacock Theater?
Mace.
What was number 2 again?
Madison Square Garden.
I will say A. What was A?
Radio City Music
I'll
Hall.
say Radio City Music Hall.
I also think it's Radio City Music Hall. Brian.
I'll go Microsoft Peacock.
Greg. You could catch us here.
I could. What was the second one?
Madison Square Garden.
I just don't think it's Madison Square. I'll say Radio City Music Hall.
Only Brian got it right.
Wow.
Oh, that was your chance,
It's
Bergman.
downstairs.
They're here?
By the way, Bob
Typically-
Hope did host the first Academy Awards televised in 1953.
So,
Okay.
So we were all right on it. But
Are you
don't worry
complaining? It's her game.
Well, no,
it's her answer.
I was just making sure
Is
we
that a
put the
complaint?
right
I
information
did
out.
I think
also,
it's up
just
to Laura
saying,
if
the
it's a
guys
complaint.
Also, I had the boys in the back, and I had Emily look at it, so I'm just
Laura,
saying.
it's completely up to you whether or not
Oh,
to
you can dock me.
Mason a
I'm
point.
not going to dock
I'm
him
not
a
gonna
point.
win this month
I'm
anyway,
not-
so.
I'm not going to dock
All
him a
right,
point.
so
I'm not
here's
gonna
the
dock him.
score.
Totally dockable.
Mason 5, Ireland 5,
Dockable.
Brian 4, Greg 4, and there are 2 left?
I have 3 left.
Okay. Let's hear 'em.
Which artist holds the record for the most wins at the American Music Awards,
Oh.
AMAs? Is it Michael Jackson, Justin Bieber, or Taylor Swift?
I'll go first and say Taylor Swift. Mace.
I'll say Michael Jackson.
Greg.
Taylor Swift.
Brian.
Michael Jackson.
Taylor Swift.
It is Taylor Swift.
All right, Berg's got 5, but I've got 6.
Do they still have those, the American Music Awards?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
they
watch
do.
all these
I
shows.
went to them one time.
I
They
went
were
to
good.
the Latin ones.
There are good
the first
performances
ones.
at the MTV Awards.
All right,
They-
Ireland 6, Mason 5, Bergman 5, Brian 4, 2 left.
2
Go
left.
for it.
The first Academy Awards ceremony took place when? May 17th, 1929, May 16th of the same year, 1929, or May 19th, 1929.
So no matter what, it's
1929.
Yeah, so
And
May
what are the
16th,
3 what are the
17th,
3 days?
17th, 16th, or 19th?
I'll go 19th. Mace.
I'll go 17th.
Greg.
I'll go. Was it 16th?
Yeah, that
I'll go 16th.
Brian.
16.
it is the 16th.
Okay,
Hey,
so
I caught.
Greg caught me. Brian is 1 back. So everybody's still alive. This is the last one. Greg has to go first.
This one's super easy, okay?
Okay.
I'm sure. Just like Pepe's easy.
No, I'm serious. Which of these award shows is not televised? Is it the Tony Awards, the Pulitzer Prize Awards, or the People's Choice Awards?
Greg.
Oh, I have no idea, but it's not the first one because you just said you watched them.
Yeah,
It was the Pulitzer Prize
or the People's Choice Awards.
Or the People's Choice Awards. Let's go with the Pulitzer.
I also think it's the Pulitzer Mace.
It is the Pulitzer.
Brian.
It is the Pulitzer.
It is the Pulitzer.
Okay, so here's where we're at.
People's Choice wouldn't make sense.
Brian and Greg are out.
Exactly.
Or I'm sorry, Brian and Mace are out.
Oh, no, I lost.
Greg
on
and I
award
each have
shows.
7. Do you have a tiebreaker, Laura?
I do have a
Greg, you
tiebreaker.
got something to write with?
I can get something. I do.
Okay. Laura, what's the tiebreaker?
I'm going to say also, Mace, check me because they did check me, but now I want to be very, very sure.
Okay.
Earlier, we said Bob Hope holds the record for the most times hosting the Academy Awards.
Oh, you're going to get this.
How many times has he hosted?
Okay.
Please, I have no clue. I'll say that.
I'm going to go. Okay.
Okay, I went.
You got something written down?
I do.
What'd you write?
13.
I wrote 22.
Ooh, close.
Ooh, close. It's 19.
I
That's
gotcha.
Ireland.
Ireland wins, yeah, 19 times.
I had no clue. Ireland has 6 now, and nobody else has more than 1.
I have 0.
It's over.
Yeah, but
No, it's
everything's
not
worth
over.
2 next week.
Correct.
So all you got to do is run the table,
I
Bergman.
promise that I will make a game next week.
All right. Game of Games is brought to you by Jacob and Ronnie. After an accident, you got to go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the Super Stager.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
It's Mandy's Friday.
There he is. There's
There is
Cappy.
Scott Kaplan. Okay, somebody from our social team. Do we have Sedano?
Yeah.
Shadano.
Hey,
Hey,
George.
Sedano.
All right, somebody from our social team made up mythical tables.
Oh, I saw this.
Okay, there are 6 of them. And the question is, which table would you want to sit at? I think all of our tables, Sedano's, Cap's, mine, and Mace, are the best ones. So I'm going to take tables 1 and 2 out.
See ya.
Okay? Table 1 had Travis, Michael, Jared Vanderbilt, Puka
Jared
Nakua,
Vanderbilt.
Anjay Kopitar. Just not enough star power at that
Okay.
table. Table 2, Sliwa, Morales.
Well, LeBron, right? Is
Yeah,
on that
LeBron's at that table, but then it gets weird after that. Ernest Jones.
See, because that's the one I would want to be at. Because I want to be at that one, John. Because I feel like I'd be curious to see how Slee acts with LeBron.
Oh,
with
wouldn't that be fascinating?
With Morales there being an agitator. Like, to me, that's the exact reason I
You
would
just
want to
made it more interesting.
I actually, I think there's a clear winner here between the 4. So so taking 1 and 2 out. All right, here's table 3. Cappy, Pepe, J.J. Redick, Miller Moss,
Yeah.
the USC quarterback, Cooper Kupp, Drew Doughty from the Kings,
Wow.
Dennis Buonga, is that a soccer player?
Denis Bouanga, yes.
Denis
for LAFC.
Bouanga, yeah.
And then Carlos Estevez. So 2-time Cap. That's a pretty solid table that you
I
have.
like the table, but I will just tell you one thing, Johnny I. Rachel just hit me up and she goes, wait a second. You guys aren't even all sitting at the same table now?
No, this is just a bit. For
I
the
know.
radio.
I had to explain that to
Rachel.
her. Yeah, I had to tell her.
All right, so
you
table
know?
3, pretty solid. All right. Table 4.
I love that she thought J.J. Redick was coming to the Mandy's.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Mace,
It's like, I
this
wanna
is
go.
your-
He hasn't
this
even
is
done a
your
press
table.
conference.
This is my table. Okay.
And
sitting
Mace,
with Cappy.
Who's sitting at my table?
Momo,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Anthony Davis,
Nice.
Sean McVay,
Oh,
Eric Musselman,
yeah.
Quentin Byfield,
Right.
Christian Oliveira, Luis, how do you pronounce that last name, Markham?
Rengifo.
Rengifo.
Oh, from the Angels?
The Angels.
Yeah,
Okay,
the Angels. He's
so
having a big
Mace,
year.
Momo, AD, McVay, Musselman, that's a strong table. All right, table 5, Sedano is yours. And yours, Greg. Sedano, Bergman, Rui Hachimura, Kobe Turner, defensive lineman for the
Kobe
Rams.
Turner, by the way, is
very interesting guy.
Very funny.
Juju Watkins,
Yeah.
arguably the new best player in women's college basketball. Ron Washington, the Angels manager.
He's funny.
Hugo Loris and Bailey the Lion.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of a fun table.
Nice to have a mascot. Nice to have a
All right,
mascot.
and
in
here's
town.
the table 6, the last one. This is my table. Me, DeMarco, Austin Reeves, Matthew Stafford, Lincoln Riley, Adrian Kempe from the Kings, Steve, how do you pronounce that last name?
Cherundolo.
Cherundolo, is he an LAFC guy?
Yeah, coach.
And Mike Trout. Okay, that's the last
Mike
one.
Trout
Mike
is
Trout's
just-
kind of boring.
That's
I
just
feel
like a zero.
I
at the
think
table.
there is one obvious winner here.
I would say
Table five.
Mason out of those.
What do you
4.
think, Cap?
Well, I do like Mason's table because he's got Sean McVay. Sean McVay will get on a couple of vodkas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple of Tito's, and the next thing you know, the table's rocking.
So pick one. 3, 4, 5, or 6.
I'm going to take my table. I'm going to take 3.
Okay. Greg?
Table 5. I love our table. I think that's a great table.
I think it is obvious.
Ron Washington's a nut.
Yeah, but it's obvious what the most fun table would be. I'm with Sedano. It's Mason's table.
Yeah.
Mason, Momo, AD, McVay, Musselman.
Yeah.
That is a
that's
that is
a
a
power
murderer's
five.
row
Yeah,
right there.
that's a power five.
I think we all end up at table 4 by the
Yeah.
end of the night. If
Yeah.
all 5 of those people are at
I
that
agree.
table.
You guys are pulling up chairs.
I
What if
like
Quint-
my table, but not as much as yours.
What if Quentin Byfield, Christian Oliveira, and Luis Rengifo are all lame?
It doesn't matter. His top 5 are so good, you just lose those 3. And Cappy, you and Sedano slide in over
Plus,
there.
Rengifo's funny as hell. Have you
Oh, he
ever
is.
heard him talk?
No.
I've got a lot
I'm
of
just
star
totally making that
power
up.
between Austin Reeves, Matthew Stafford, and Lincoln Riley.
Yes.
But you got the fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a blast at my table.
With McVay, Momo, Musselman's fun.
Yeah.
Your table's the best. Table 4 is the best.
So,
I do like J.J. Redick at my table, though, because I could grill him, you know what I mean?
Oh, yes, you could. Boy, I tell you, he would leave.
He'd be texting me. He'd be like, "This is your guy."
He
Like,
would
what-
ask
like-
for a table change.
Yeah.
This guy is
And
annoying
Pepe'd
me.
be talking about old actresses, Cappy. Your head would explode.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got this text from Cappy last night.
What did it say?
Says, so Juan is
He doesn't
invited
even remember.
to Ocean Beach Saturday night
OB, I used to hang out there all the time.
with Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel's not going to the Mandy's.
Juan
So-
should go. Ocean Beach is very
Oh,
fun.
yeah, Obi's cool.
Yeah, they're having the OB Street Fair, and what happened is, Mace, is last night Rachel and I were having some dinner. You know, today's her birthday.
Oh, happy
So,
birthday, Rachel.
Happy birthday to Rachel, and we were having some dinner last night, and you know she's still on the fence about whether or not she is or is not going to the Mandy's.
Right.
And she said, "Well, is Juan going?" And I said, "Juan is not going." And she said, "What about Kelly?" And I said, "No, Kelly's not going." She said, "What about Lisa?" I said, "No, Lisa's not going either." And she said, "You mean to tell me that neither Shadano, Mason, or Ireland, none of them all have their significant others going to the Mandy's?"
That is 100% accurate.
And
I
I
believe
said-
only Mrs. Mrs. Slee.
Lady
No,
Slee and Susan.
Susan Rogers.
Susan
is
will
going
be there?
Yeah, Susan
Okay,
is
great.
going.
And Pepe's girlfriend Liz is going.
Liz. I
Yeah.
met Liz, yeah.
Right. And Crypto Ray's wife, Paris, is going. Don't forget about
Okay,
that.
good,
That's
good.
right.
General.
Don't forget about that. That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, so here's the funniest tweet of the night from Grant, who is in the Circle of Trust.
Yes.
Pepe is not actually booked for table 3, but they expect him to show up anyway.
Wow.
Pepe. Pepe. You know what I love about Pepe? I love Pepe's first tweet of the day. It's always so
It's very
positive.
Yes,
earnest.
right.
It's
Have
like
a good Friday,
and
everybody.
May God
Yes.
keep us safe.
Magic Johnson.
Right.
Today,
Pau
he,
Gasol.
today he put his flowers in there. He's got this big hydrangea bush. He's like, "May God bless us." I'm like, that's a nice way to start the day.
Pepe
reading
is
the
very
Pepe
positive in general, and he responds to everything in a very positive fashion on social media as well.
Tweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, Mace, did I
Unless
hear
you tell him that his questions are too hard, and then he loses it.
yeah,
Then he gets upset. Mace, did I hear you're going to Hawaii?
yeah. Next
What-
week,
When next week? What day?
Tuesday.
I don't believe the amount of vacation this kid takes.
Well, but he was smart. He's the only one that I've said this a million times. Mason's doing it right. He works less than anybody, and he's smart about it.
Cappy.
I want to be where Mason is.
Cappy, is your I would imagine, do all of our contracts end June the 30th?
No, well, Cappy's did, and then you and I are up next June
the
30th.
30th.
And I don't know when Sedano's up.
Right.
Do you
No,
even know
mine
when
is
you're up,
the end of
Sedano?
February.
So my problem is that I didn't use enough days during the year, which means I've got to take a lot of days before July the 1st.
Really?
So-
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, Mace, because I too have a lot of days left on remaining contract.
Right.
But then on July 1st starts new contract.
And you can't carry days over.
Right.
I mean, you could, but it's a process.
I've never tried to carry days over. I
You
don't
could.
even know if that's possible.
You could.
I don't
It
think
just-
I've
I mean,
ever
there's
taken all my days.
It's
I-
a very.
I have.
You can take a small. Yeah, we know that's. The
I
case.
gotta be more like
Mason.
you.
A very small amount is what I would say.
But that's my problem too, Johnny I, is that I don't take the allotted number of days. You know, and now that Bergie's all over me, because you guys have heard the story now, right? Bergie's all over me now.
About what?
It was
Bergie
crazy. I was yelling and screaming. It was horrible.
You had to hear him. He was bawling me
Did
out.
he dress you
About-
down? He
what
dressed
was,
you
what
down?
was the subject of his wrath?
He told me that going forward, he is counting every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas he's been a little loose in the past, he's now counting every day. So now I got to go back to him, and I'm like, okay, so listen, with the Mandy's, for example, you know, I'm going to get to Commerce Casino around 3. I'm going to stay overnight. I'm going to leave the next morning. That's like X number of hours that I now accrue going forward. You know what I'm
Wait a
saying?
minute. So you're adding the hours to
I didn't even know we could
another
do
day?
that.
In other words, are you
Honestly,
trying to
Cappy.
take an extra day because
Right.
you worked on a Saturday
Yes.
for the Mandy's?
No, well,
Correct.
Cap,
Yes.
you know, you get an extra day for working Wednesday of this week.
Right. I've already
Right,
got that one
you
allotted.
get
But I don't
comp
think
day
you're
for
getting one for
Juneteenth.
the Mandy's.
Yeah,
You get
no,
a
I'm-
comp day for I think it's President's Day. You get a comp day for MLK Day.
Yeah.
You get
Come on,
comp days
Bergie.
for those.
Come on, Bergie. Give me a comp day for the Mandy's. Come on.
No, but
Come on.
either way, like, I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care.
What I have figured out, Cap, is
Well, I
no
had to
one
teach
cares
Cap-
about anything. Just take whatever days you want
So
off.
Ireland, I had to teach Cappy. He was going to take a vacation day for a colonoscopy. I'm like, that's a medical procedure. You take a sick day for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Mason takes all his sick days, too. He's the only one doing it right.
Wait,
He,
Mace,
he definitely is the only one that takes his sick
Mace,
day.
how do you take a sick day? Explain that to me.
He took like 3 of them a week ago.
What happens is you get COVID or something that seems like COVID, and you start hacking and coughing, and
I'm not feeling too good today.
then at 10 o'clock at night, you call Bergman and you say,
Or if
"Dude,
you're Mason, you do it at 9 o'clock
tomorrow,
the next morning.
not going to happen."
I appreciate, Cappy, by the way, that you did this into my face. That was really nice of you. So thank you for doing that.
By the way, if I had a Comrex, I could have gone on the air last week.
Why didn't you?
Because I don't have a Comrex.
Why not?
No one gives me one.
Someone could have brought one to you.
Well, then we should have done that.
Okay, next time.
You had
Next
COVID?
time. Yeah.
He thought
Well,
he
I
had
never,
COVID.
I never tested or anything like that because COVID is just like everything else now.
Yeah.
But I was hacking
It's
and
like
coughing
it's like COVID light.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just stuff's going around. I don't.
But did you say that you had COVID when you called Bergie?
No,
and,
I said
and
I
called in for a sick
I have
day?
something like COVID.
Oh, something like COVID.
Yeah.
You have COVID adjacent?
COVID AGJ.
Is that like somebody who lives in Beverlywood and says they live in Beverly Hills adjacent?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly right.
We were talking about earlier in the show. Laura asked us if you could have any perk in your contract and they wouldn't say no, but you only get one. What would you make? What would you use it on, Cap?
Great question.
Wow.
Good flex. Good flex.
Wow, that is a really good question.
Mace, what did you say? I can't remember what you said.
I said one more week of vacation.
Yeah, I
I'd
said
like to move from
I don't
7
wanna,
to 8.
I don't want to work on non-show days. Like, for example, tomorrow we're all coming in for the Mandy's. I would want those days to be sacred. Laura said she wants a private jet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad one. I mean, you kind of have that, John. I mean, you
Yeah, I
go on
do.
the charter.
I fly,
you know?
I fly private all year.
Yeah.
Laura, it's
Yeah.
great. I will
Listen,
say that.
I said obviously not here, but if I was flexing like Messi and he's the GOAT, I'm not going to go for an extra week of vacation.
Right.
I want the jet.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
Mason, I feel like you went light on that
Exactly.
one.
Well,
You
he
did.
He went
vacation.
realistic. He didn't go like outrageous.
Well,
Yeah.
Cappy, when I ask the question that way, what pops into your head? You got to answer right now. You get a perk. We can't say no. What do you want?
I want 2 weeks more of vacation.
Oh,
That's
two.
it?
Oh,
Yep.
double
See, I
week,
want a
yeah.
one-up Mace.
All right, there you go. 2 weeks of extra vacation.
Sedano, what would
I mean,
you
that
like?
private jet actually does sound nice
PJ is
considering all the
cool.
damn traveling I do. You know.
Well, we were
so-
talking about the fact that do you have business class or better in your TV deal?
Oh yeah, I have first class all the way.
Okay, but what I was saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is it's a great perk to have. It's like maybe one of the best things you can ask for. But in your case, you're like me. you're fighting the whole year to have a life away from work because you're always working.
Right.
So there'll be some situations where your choice is fly at 6 a.m. and then you get to see your kids that day, but there's no first class seats left, or just wait until noon and take the first class seat. You're probably going early, right?
Well, I usually book pretty far in advance on these trips because I kind of know
But like for
most
example,
of them.
in the finals, you didn't know when it would
Oh
end.
no, but I still booked ahead of time.
Oh, did you?
I
So you
canceled
had
some of the
multiple
because I
options.
can cancel some of those trips and just use the credits for other trips.
Right. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, so I booked ahead. Like the only one I got kind of screwed on was the conference finals, and that's how I ended up missing the show that day because my flights all got screwed up and delayed, and I ended up having to get home at 8:00 at night.
Right.
I'll tell you what perk I would like. I would like to end Super Crosstalk 10 seconds early. See you tomorrow night.
Don't do it, Mace. Don't do it.
There's a new fall